to AFL Nation for 420 Pies, Australia's original fan food, and for Elders Open and Elders Rural Products prepayment account to win. Both teams are heading out there right now. The Crows have just come out of their dugout and they're about to burst through the banner, and the rain stopped, which is good news. Both teams heading out there thanks to Ream, manufacturing in Australia for over 80 years. Let's get a few thoughts from our experts before we invite Whitey to the microphone. Our experts for MEGT, build a winning team with Australia's apprenticeship experts, Gerard Healy and Kane.
Well, this is very much Brisbane versus Brisbane, Kane, because there's been personnel exchange between Brisbane and Adelaide, and they play very similar games. They've both learnt from the same expert whose name escapes me. I think his name was Johnson from memory, who was football manager up at Brisbane, and certainly influential in the way they move the ball. But they're two top sides. These two sides, for me, are going to play in the prelim final week, and it's going to be interesting to see how they unfold tonight.
Murray Davis, I think, from Brisbane has gone to Adelaide, and he's not a high-profile figure, but clearly after the success that Brisbane have had, they start to target successful teams, as happens around the competition, and he seems to have had a big impact. I just like the versatility in both lineups. I think players that can play a variety of positions, and you look through both sides. Now Adelaide have that luxury. If it's not working with your starting on-ball group, then you can get Berry in there, you can get Peatling in there, you can get Rankin, you can get Dawson. They've got Saligo already, who's a mainstay that can go through there, and same with Brisbane. Like, where does McCluggage play? Where does Bailey play? Where does Archie, Rayner, these types? They've got so many of them, so really versatile lineups if things aren't working. Brisbane are very prone to just letting the players sort of work it out if things aren't going on track. I was there seeing their game live. They weren't terrific against Essendon by any means, but did enough to win. Feels like that's been for the majority of their season. Kyle Lohman kicked 3, so good to get him back into form after not kicking a goal for the season. But I just think for Adelaide, the big story is you need a scout. Can you get one tonight? And if you do, then we start talking about them really seriously. I don't think anyone's sort of thought they were a real premiership chance yet. Well, that changes if they win tonight. Yeah, I must admit, I think the first time I saw them this year, I thought, this mob can win the premiership. Yeah. But they do. They've got to pass the order today against somebody who's, they're a bit similar. They've had up and down form, but their poor form has been against poor teams, and that's probably a sign of a bit of a premiership layover. But their good form has been against the best sides. But it's going to be, it might have been decided in some respects by individuals. Jordan Dawson, who's one of the better players in the comp, but his disposal has not been at its best this year. No. And I think if he can hit some targets, and if he can play his best with the ball, it makes a huge difference, because you've got big bodies like Thilthorpe and Tex Walker. You've got to hit them on the chest. It is a wet game, so there may not be that many contested marks, but there's bugger all anyway. I mean, there's about an average of about 12 a game per team, so it's not a huge issue. But what I love about those three guys is they're so skilled. They're great ground ball players as well as in the air. So it's a huge test for Adelaide, and I'm looking forward to just seeing how their back line, that looks as if it's improved organically this year, holds up against a really good, multifaceted ground ball team that can still jump in the air like Brisbane Lions.
And it will be on the ground a bit. Gerard's given you 4 or 5 ground reports, or weather reports. A light rain still falling here, and we expect it to keep falling. Ground and weather reports for Pacific Seeds. Pacific Seeds, proven performance, trusted by Australian farmers, growing possibilities. The coin toss about to take place for Keno Go. 40 million jackpot every 3 minutes with Keno Go. And Keno Go, you can play with $2 today. We'll let you know as soon as that toss is won. And the overall weather update for Grundfos. From farm to family, groundwater is crucial. There'll be plenty of groundwater today. Grundfos pumps, I should say. Serious reliability, built for life. Grundfos pumps, which players might provide some flexibility tonight for Flexalt, the only flexible oral lice treatment for sheep.
Yeah, well, we've mentioned a couple of those. I note that Fletcher's starting on the bench. I just love what he's been able to give them across half-back. Great ball user, run and carry. So him and Zorko, Wilmot across half-back. Just a good-looking, running defensive unit who use the footy really well.
Have a look at the benches, Kane. Fletcher, Ashcroft, Gallup. Berry, who was really impressive last week and may just get hold of that position and keep Matt Crouch out. Rochelle, Pedler and Hinge. They're pretty powerful benches.
Oh, they what? Both teams completing their warm-up for Ream. Steady, hot and strong Ream. If you've got an unmissable moment tonight for Drinkwise, you won't miss a moment if you Drinkwise.
Yeah, well, Charlie Cameron, I think, is the one who just is threatening to get back to his best form but hasn't reached those heights yet. Kicked the second most goals, only behind Jeremy Cameron from 2021 to 2024. 2025 has been a bit lean, but I feel like he's just building into what's going to be a strong back half of the year.
Unmissable moments for Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you Drinkwise. Make sure you choose to Drinkwise. Before the final word on what the coaches might be saying before the bounce for best sheds, Australia's sheds at the lowest prices. Adam White's been good enough to jump in here. Welcome, Whitey. Great to have you back.
Thanks, Dwayne. It's great to have Jane Bunn with us tonight as well. Gerard, he picked it. He said the rain band would come across and leave us and we'd be okay, and I think we're going to be. A lot of the rain is going to miss Adelaide from here. So about 5 mils came through in that band of rain. But if the Adelaide Oval drains the way it usually does, I reckon we might be okay for some better footy than we thought when there was a monsoon about half an hour ago.
They won't be scrimmage territory. They won't be scrimmage. Oh, you played today, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Whereabouts?
No, just at my local course. Yeah. It was very windy conditions.
Gerard didn't take you down to the National?
Well,
no, it would be blown away down there.
How's your shoulder? You swinging yet or not?
No, I'm swimming.
Swinging? You're not swinging the golf club?
No, I haven't swung one for about 8 years, Dwayne. I've given that one.
Have you?
Yeah, no, bad walk made. A good walk made bad, or whatever they say.
When are you back in the water again?
Probably another 5 months, depending on which surgeon you listen. Yeah, he's very conservative, my man Brendan. So,
but you won't take the longboard out at
somewhere.
Point at us or something. No, you have to go something big.
I'm happy to just get back in the water. I was swimming this morning, which is a bit of a shock to the system without a wetsuit because it's not easy getting them on.
About 4 degrees at the moment. AFL Nation for 420 Pies, Australia's original fan food, and for Elders Open and Elders Rural Products prepayment account to win. So the final word from the coaches for best sheds, Australian sheds at the lowest prices.
Yeah, well, I think for Adelaide, when you come up against Brisbane, key to shut down their uncontested game. Like, they average the highest number of uncontested marks from any team. Keep them under 100, perfect conditions to do that. And that will go a long way into shutting their ball movement down and really hemming them to one side of the ground, which Adelaide can defend pretty well. And then match them at stoppage. I mean, their midfield is elite. The names running through Brisbane's midfield are really strong, but I think Adelaide now have the personnel and depth to be able to do that. So midfield battle will be fascinating as well.
And if I'm coaching Brisbane, I'd be just saying, listen, we know how to play. If we want to win this, it's going to be decided on whether we bring the heat. Bring the pressure, get it up above 200 for long enough. Kick the goals when they present themselves, and they'll get on the plane happy tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And what do we expect from Ty Gallup tonight? He looks like he's got the body for it, but he's still pretty young.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's always, you just want that first touch. I think that's anyone in any game, really. It doesn't matter if it's your first game or your 350th game. You want to touch the footy early, and Phil Walsh always used to say, just don't worry about the footy, just feel some body. Get some body early, get a tackle, get a bump, and then you feel like you're into the action. So that was a sort of a strategy that I took into most games. I think that's good advice for any young player. Feel something early, feel the contest, go hard for a ground ball, get involved, a big spoil, a big tackle, and all of a sudden you forget about the nerves and it being your first game.
I spoke to Chris Fagan about Ty Gallup this week, and he told me he was going to put him in. He said, I'm not sure what we're going to get, but he's a big unit. He jumps at the footy. He likes banging bodies. So let's see how he rolls.
So, Dwayne, who's going to go with it first when Ty goes for a run and he's off to the races?
Well, I like it. You can throw it in. Well, one thing he can't get tonight is because they don't have the home game. They can't play horses when he kicks the goal. I'm looking forward to see what his song is at the Gabba, because horses might be the go for Ty Gallup. We'll have to wait and see what he goes with as his song. Let's hope he gets it played plenty of times and he kicks plenty of goals in his career. Who did win the toss, by the way? I didn't see Whitey while we were having a chat about that. I think both captains looked at their group as if they won the toss, so that made me confused.
It's all confidence, Dwayne. It's all confidence. I won it. We're off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not far away from the bounce of the ball here at the Adelaide Oval. The opening term brought to us by Host Plus. That's a plus. And AFL Nation for 420 Pies, and Elders for Australian Agriculture. Final word in front of a pretty good crowd at the Adelaide Oval before the bounce of the ball, given the weather conditions, but the Crows do pull a pretty good crowd every time they have a home game.
What do you reckon the home ground advantage is here, Kane?
Big. Yeah, I think particularly for Adelaide, when they're in this sort of form, Crows fans come from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you see them walking down the streets of Glenelg, they're full kits, they wear the merch, and then they make some noise when things are going well. When things start to turn against them, I'm not sure how resilient and loyal they can be. I guess that's like any fan base, to be fair, but I feel like the Adelaide fans do jump off pretty quickly. But when they're riding this wave of momentum, and when it's been so long since they've won a premiership and played in finals, to be fair, then they're smelling something special this year.
There's going to be a lot of focus on Mark Kane, the Irishman, who had a big game last week, took a cracking mark a couple of weeks ago. He's starting to come into probably career best form. This will test him. They haven't got an absolute gun. Logan Morris is likely opponent, but Logan can kick 2 or 3 on you, so that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch for tonight.
So the Crows kicking to the old scoreboard end in this opening term, Brisbane to the Riverbank stand end, and at least at the moment there is no rain. As we start the action from Adelaide Oval, it's the Crows and the Lions, a genuine blockbuster on a Friday night. McCluggage getting the first kick forward for the Lions, but straight to Michael Annie, who took it on the bounce, got tackled by Cameron, and will be thrown up.
Good matchup, Michael Annie and Cameron. He gets all the big jobs, the youngster. He's such an impressive young player.
Fort O'Brien, winning it down, straight to Pete Ling, got a handball, straight to Archie of the Lions. Quick kick forward from Rayner to the top of the 50. He put in front, it gets past him and his opponent. Kane collects, he's tackled by Lohman. Will have a throw up inside 50 for the Lions.
And we're going to see plenty of stoppage. The ball's going to be on.
And it might be a Rochelle behind. So we've got 4 behinds to 3 behinds as it stands right now. We might have to give the Beaumont's plug away now because we might not get a goal tonight. Beaumont's tiles, Beaumont's massive range of tiles, all on sale now. So we haven't had a goal of the day. In fact, we haven't had a goal at all.
That is the most ridiculous review you've ever seen.
It's as bad a review as
you'll never get a roll on a Sydney to Hobart boat. You've got to have a 3 pinpoint to make sure you don't cross the line on a 100-foot boat. And he can't work it out whether that's gone one side of the post or the other.
Write that down.
Write it down for Greg Swan.
It is the Bermuda Triangle down there at that end of the ground with gull umpires.
If it's a sponsored thing. That they have to get enough score reviews out the way to satisfy a sponsor.
Well, that's the only excuse there.
Fletcher brings the Dacky to play for the Lions. Good kick to Dunkley on the stretch. He marks at left half back for the Lions.
Just checking on Eddie Corns. He was scrolling on TikTok before when I turned around.
We'd be a Port fan, so why is he watching the Crows?
Dunkley up to the wing, through hands. Michael Annie slipped over. Lohman collects. He gets tackled high. He'll get a free kick. Advantage is paid. I'm not sure where the advantage was. Levi Ashcroft's tackled to the ground by Cumming, and we'll have a throw up.
Eddie is a Port fan, I think.
Yes.
Big one. Not interested in this.
Big one.
Well, he'd be barracking for the Lions.
It would be.
So from the scramble here on the wing, Cumming goes down low. Dunkley just as low, and we'll get another ball up.
How many goals wins it tonight? Let's go round. I'm going to say 11 goals wins it, Gerard.
11's not bad.
12 goals wins.
I might go for 9.
Okay.
Thorpe around the body. 9-16 wins it.
I think it'll open up. It'll open up.
9-16.
Remember Adelaide, their only win against the top 8 side was against the Giants. They kept them to 4 in similar conditions.
And they didn't kick too many more themselves.
Jordan Dawson, 2 touches. I'm on Dawson watch at the moment. Dunkley with 4.
It's 4-3. And we've played 20 minutes in this opening term.
That is not because there's no goal assist at the moment.
Rankin just throws it away. That's been given the all clear. Wow. Hinge for the Crows. Front part of the square into an open forward line. Payne dives and doesn't get there. Walker collects deep in the pocket. Left foot. Flying shot at goal. Goes right across the face and misses everything.
Someone tell me how Rankin disposed of that ball.
He threw it, Kane. That's not Mitchell.
Now, he hadn't touched the footy to that point, and Champion Data didn't give him a handball for that, so he must have thrown it.
Okay, another one for Greg Swan. Write that down. A throw is a throw.
Still no touches for Rankin.
Throw's a free kick. We'll have to get that on the rules committee and get that pass. Fletcher's about to be hunted down. He is hunted down, and a good tackle laid by Cumming.
Yeah, the pressure's up. They're going well.
22 tackles, Gerard.
Flying.
He spears it wide, hoping for the leader, but Payne read it to perfection. Ready sides gave it to Jared Berry of the Lions. He pumps it back down the wing. Fly from Lohman, can't mark it. Hits the deck. Crumb from Dunkley, but he mongrels it to half foot. It might work. Charlie Cameron's got it. This should be the opening goal. He zigs, he zags, he ran into trouble. He got it to Rayner, who's on his left. Should kick the goal, and it does. That's the Beaumont Tiles goal of the night. It's the only goal of the night. Beaumont Tiles, massive range of tiles on sale now. And the Lions 139 to the Crows 4 behinds. That's on the Host Plus scoreboard. That's a plus. 6 minutes left in the opening term on the New Tech clock. Optimise your business with automation.
For some reason, Kane, I've been drawn to selfishness inside the forward 50 from small forwards. And Charlie Cameron should have kicked that first one. There was an open goal, just the over-the-top 35-metre. He was smart enough.
It was Morris.
To get away with it, yeah. Logan Morris should have a chat to him. He was absolutely spot on. And even that kick on the left.
From Rayner. I thought he was going to pass that as well. It's a really good pickup.
Morris has 2 burns there.
Yeah.
Not sure Green Swan's going to sort them out, but maybe he can before he leaves.
In the end, Rayner takes it upon himself to kick the first goal of the game. And, I mean, you never know what you're going to get from Cam Rayner. It could be absolutely elite first class, and it looks it might be that way. He's had 7 and 4 score involvements in that goal to start this game.
Lions go forward again with Neal. On the outside of his boot, he kicks to half forward. Morris has 2 to beat. He gets knocked out of the contest. Hinge for the Crows. Handballs back into the mess. Clever work from Dunkley. Will Ashcroft. Now Archie. 40 out. Low zooming ball is home. 2 to the Lions within the space of a minute. And just like that, Brisbane 2-3-15, Adelaide 4 behinds.
Well, you just got to take care of the footy. Brisbane won the initial clearance, and Kane was excellent. He got rid of Morris in a one-on-one. Hinge picked up the footy and just coughed it up. Just that is what pressure does to good players. He felt the pressure, coughed up a high hospital handball. We'll see it here. And that's turnover city. Turned the footy over in that part of the ground. Ashcroft's hands were elite. Morris's hands were just as good. And Archie sneaks it through by the thinnest of margins.
Is that at the post, or is it done an off break when it bounced?
Done a late swing, but that's 2 big goals late in the first term. And that's what they can do. They can rip your heart out pretty quickly this side.
Running hot for Ream, the Lions right now. Australia's favourite hot water, our expert for MEGT. Build a winning team with Australia's apprenticeship experts, MEGT. So from the restart, there'll be another restart. After the restart, there's a ball up.
But the hands, there's a difference between the handball craft between these 2 teams. That last one started with Dunkley. It was a little tap on, and in the middle, they are hot with their hands.
So Fletcher gets the clearance, gets the ball to half forward. Morris was there, couldn't trap it. Neil Bullen was there, can't trap it. Archie traps it with Neil Bullen. Umpire was quick to ball it up there. So just 5:51 left in the opening term. Here's Whitey for AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies.
Before you go, 30 handballs to 13 in favour of Brisbane.
From the stoppage, it sort of pushes Adelaide's way, and then Keys kicks it off the ground. But that doesn't work. It's straight back to the Lions as they go to the open side. Berry, back right corner of the square towards the wing. Wanted that Lohman, went over his head. It's still a chance here for the Lions, although Dunkley was just a bit too clever. Dawson took it, handball straight to Malera, no free kick. Brisbane with the ball. Lohman chips a little pop kick over the top, and that works for Gallup.
Massive skill differential here.
Yeah, it is.
Incredible.
It's obvious.
Gallup is going deep to about 20 out. O'Brien, good mark. Archie thought he was going to take that. O'Brien came from the side and took the mark.
It looked like Archie was going to take it. The big fella just got himself into a really good spot, Riley O'Brien. He's in good form.
Go over to Hinge. Is he about to get a contract renewal?
He should. And if he doesn't from Adelaide, someone like Geelong will give him one.
That's the first skill error that's cost them a big turnover. Bad left footer from McCluggage.
So Neil Bullen's got it at centre-half back. He goes to Curtin out wide.
Not sure about this ball movement. Very prone to coming to the near side, the interchange side, Adelaide, but there's been nothing through the middle of the ground. It's all been wide.
Fogarty keeps it wide. 2 1-on-1. The Walker 1-on-1. Leicester got a fist on it, knocked it down. Keys, Leicester, all there. No one can get it out. And with 4:26 left on the clock in the opening term, brought to us by Host Plus. That's a plus. Crows haven't scored a goal. They're 4 behinds. Lions 2-3-15.
A great defence by Leicester. No hands in back, just jumped and spoiled.
Another clearance to the lines. Berry spirals the ball towards the wing. It was touched off the boot. Hinge takes it for the Crows. Handball's a bit slick there for Curtin, who dropped it. Rayner slides in. Neil scoops it up. Gives the handball to McCluggage. McCluggage back to the wing. McKean with the spoil. It goes inside the centre square, and it'll work for the Crows. Or will it? Oh, knocked down. Charlie Cameron, hip and shoulders, Rory Laird straight in the back, so it'll be a free kick in the middle of the ground.
He must have played rugby league as a junior, I reckon, Charlie Cameron. He's got some those traits, those almost the shoulder charge, which is now illegal in that sport as well. But that was pretty average.
Yeah, very unusual. Yeah. Kick to the 50. No one can take the mark. Rankin at the back of the contest. Took it on that bounce. Handballs to Peatling. Gets pushed in the back. Another free kick.
He's just a bit off McCluggage at the present time.
Gerard, he's had 4 kicks. Hasn't had an effective kick yet.
So
Peatling, sloppy around the pill.
Left half forward. The kick into the 50. Don't like it. No, that's no good. Berry takes the mark for the Lions.
You love midfielders who are strong overhead, and Brisbane have got a couple. Like Dunkley, so strong overhead. Berry, underrated, how good he is in the air. Jordan Dawson's another example of that.
And good call from his boot. Dawson gathers. Perfectly called. There's a few in the comp. Nick Voston. There's a few that have been great overhead for a long time, playing above their height, really.
Yeah.
So Dawson backpedals on the wing here. Chance for the Crows to get their first goal of the night if he finds a target inside 50. He goes wider than you would have thought he would have. Off hands Keys. Handball inside to Walker. Gave it to Rankin, and Rankin's just lucky to scrape it in for a behind. They've got 5 of them. Adelaide, 1 more behind. They'll have a goal. 2 minutes and 51 left. Opening term for Host Plus. That's a plus.
Be interested in your thoughts on Dawson's kicking, Kane. He's perfected the up and under. This year.
That occasion, he just got too close to the man on the mark. Such a simple thing, just didn't give himself any room.
Wilmot short to Neil, who has to rush a kick towards half-back.
Ducked his head.
Couldn't take the mark. Another free kick.
Ducked his head.
Very high on Peatling.
They're into him, the Brisbane players as well.
It's not going to Peatling.
Nice call by the umpire there.
It's been called as a duck, has it?
No,
it hasn't.
What's the duck?
Well, the players were very confused there.
Did the 2 umpires give a different call?
Well, Peatling gave the ball to the Brisbane Lions player. Anyway, he's kicked it inside 50. There is another free kick. This time it's going to the Lions. Rankin was going to kick towards goal. It would have been 50 against him. It's coming back. So we have had 17 free kicks in the opening quarter.
Should have had 25 though.
11 to Adelaide, 6 to Brisbane.
Yep, 5 for high contact. Adelaide have won.
So Andrews with a free kick back towards the interchange gate wing. 2 Lions players scored each other, or both tried to mark it, both kind of marked it. The umpire said, no, neither of you did.
One just had to let go. There was Rayner and Logan Morris.
Isn't it the man in front?
Yeah, that is a nonsense decision for Greg Swan.
Look at this.
Man in front.
Man in front gets paid
Which
the mark.
one, though? They were sort of both to the side.
Well, make a call.
Well, the umpire wasn't sure, so he said, neither of you.
You can't actually make that call, can you? If 2 Lions mark it, is the call neither marked it?
It's a team mark.
I've never heard of that before. How long's the game been going? Just ring Tom Wills. Did he make that rule? If 2 players mark it from the same team, it's not a mark to either. Tex gets there and takes this mark, and he can kick the first goal for Adelaide from 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. You can just about put this in the book.
Yeah, this is really interesting that Tex, Leicester lets him go.
What's he doing, Leicester?
And he just had a brain fade, and he's looking around. He's got him covered, doesn't think he's going to get it, doesn't close the space. Tex has got his eyes on this the whole way through.
Uncontested chest mark after a long, slow high ball inside 450 because Leicester just let him run at it.
So 5 minutes in from the boundary for the Crows. Opening goal, and it's across the face, and it's a behind. So they've got a goal of sorts. They've got 6 behinds, Adelaide. The Lions have 2, 3, 15, and that is on the Host Plus. That's a plus scoreboard with a minute left.
He couldn't have had it in better hands, in a better spot for him to nail that.
Lions out to half-back, but McCluggage has turned it over again. Straight to Neil Bullen, into the 50. Philthorpe straight through his hands. Berry gets absolutely deathed by Fogarty. All fine. It was a tackle. It was a hip and shoulder all at the same time.
Well, if I'm Chris Fagan, I'm getting the runner out and saying to Hugh McCluggage, come and have a spell. We need to restart.
Throw up inside 50. Fort wins it down to Neil. Neil was tackled but got a handball to Berry. Standing start. Back out towards the wing. Keane couldn't take the mark. Butts in support at ground level. Tries to paddle it to Laird. It kind of worked to Neil Bullen now. Back to Peatling running the boundaries. Straight to Fletcher.
I thought he was going to pay that. They've been hot on that downfield free kick this year. the AFL, but on that occasion they let it play on and Brisbane take the intercept mark across half-back.
They'll be cautious here with 20 seconds left. The Lions, they go down the line and Mark's been dropped. See, they could score now. Logan Morris was manhandled, didn't really have it. Leg goes and gets it. Umpires found a holding for it. It's Adelaide's ball, but it will come back with 9 seconds left on the Host Plus scoreboard. That's a plus. And the clock, of course, for New Tech, automation for manufacturing. Time enough for maybe a mark on attacking 50 from this kick, and that is it. If Kane decides to kick
Adelaide,
it.
6-2 Brisbane.
Kane took an eternity, and I'm not even sure the kick will count. It may have come after the siren, so he's not even going to get the stat now because he wasn't keen enough. So quarter time, Adelaide Oval, drizzle. The Lions superior at the moment. They kicked the opening 2 goals of the game. The Adelaide Crows were 6 behind to score for Host Plus. That's a plus. 15 plays 6. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Host Plus. Host Plus, winner of CanStar's Outstanding Value Super Award for the 8th year in a row. That's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. Check the PDS and TNT at hostplus.com.au.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. For professional tilers, the all-new Tileworks by National Tiles is a game changer. Yes, National Tiles Tileworks members can make up to $50,000 per year more than non-members. It's a game changer. National Tiles Tileworks tilers get free premium adhesives and grouts, delivered free, plus monthly cash rebates. So professional tilers rush to join Tileworks online at National Tiles now. Tileworks, it's a game changer. Conditions apply.
Cupra Nunawading, Melbourne's newest Cupra garage, is now open. Experience bold design, cutting-edge performance and European style like never before. Visit Cupra Nunawading today at 2 586 Whitehorse Road, Mitcham. LMCT 7522.
It's a great night out. A night with the girls, or your mates, or with the people from work who are really your mates. You've hit the dance floor, you've hit your stride, but the night's always young. So why not keep the good times coming? Hit the bar that never hits snooze here at Crown's Jackpot Bar.
Crown's Jackpot Bar is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's the perfect place to kick off a great night out or even wrap a great night up. Come find it at crownmelbourne.com.au. Crown practices the responsible serving of alcohol. Patrons must be 18 plus.
From Point Cook to Portsea, Craigieburn to Cranbourne, no matter where your business is based or where your work takes you, at CommBank, we're proud backers of Melbourne's business yakka. Whether you need a fresh injection of capital, an integrated payment platform, or transaction banking services, we've got the tools, tips and tech to keep you kicking financial goals. We're here to keep Melbourne business moving. So talk to one of our local specialists today. Search CommBank Business.
Capital.com, a real-time trading platform. If you are familiar with the frustration of consistent delays in the presentation of market data which prevent you from making informed trades, check out Capital.com. With real-time market data, lightning-fast order execution and rapid withdrawals. Because if you're an experienced trader, you already know that time is money. So go to Capital.com and start trading without delay. Trading on leverage is high risk and is not suitable for everyone. Refer to Capital.com Australia's PDS and TMD, AFSL 513393.
Hello, it's Albert Sanusa from State Transport. Struggling with supply chain woes? Let's fix that. If your supply chain is giving you more Monday blues than you can handle, let's chat. I promise to turn your week around faster than your last delivery. Let's make logistics work for you and not against you. Call State Transport today on 134 888.
State Transport, our people are your solution.
Oh, great. Here we go again.
Right, do you know why I pulled you over?
Yeah, it's my window tint.
Pretty dark, isn't it?
Yeah, but it
looks like a professional job. So
yeah, but
I bet that's tint to car octane, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Darkest legal tint you can get. Looks great. Oh, thanks, mate. Off you go.
This month, get $100 off Octane Tint from Tintercar. Call 13Tint or visit tintercar.com.au. We also tint homes.
Installerine, Installerine, Installerine.
For the hottest of hot water you've ever seen. Rain comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on.
Ream's been proudly manufacturing here in Australia for over 80 years.
Installerine,
Installerine,
Installerine.
So ask your your plumber for Ream, Australia's #1.
Hi, it's Liv Lewis from the Melbourne Mavericks. Did you know we have 2 game memberships available? Get yours now from melbournemavericks.com. Your support can make all the difference. So come on, Mavs fans, let's take flight. melbournemavericks.com.
You're listening to the replay of AFL Nation's call of Friday night's match from the Adelaide Oval between the Crows and the Lions. You're listening to AFL Nation for Elders. Open an Elders Rural Products prepayment account to win and 4 and 20 pies. You can't have footy without a 4 and 20 pie. Macca's, I'm loving it moments. Macca's new McSmart meal is here.
Charlie Cameron's got it. This should be the opening goal. He zigs, he zags, he ran into trouble. He got it to Rayner, who's on his left, should kick the goal, and does.
Will Ashcroft, now Archie, 40 out, low zooming, ball is home. 2 to the Lions.
Great to have your company on AFL Nation. Our experts for MEGT, Kane, Corns, and Gerard Healy. And the score at quarter time, the Adelaide Crows 6 behinds, the Brisbane Lions 2-3-15. What did you make of the opening term?
Well, an arm wrestle, really. A lot of pressure. Adelaide on track for 100 tackles, which goes to show their intent. But I think Gerard summed it up nicely during the call. There's just been a class advantage to the favour of the Lions. They're just cleaner. Their hands are more sure. And when they've had their opportunities to finish a couple of times through Rayner and also Archie, they've made the most of those, where Adelaide squandered a number of opportunities.
They did going inside forward 50. Tex I nailed in one with a certainty. Unfortunately, it was anything but. 37 handballs to 22. There's handball and there's handball. And Brisbane right now are putting on a clinic of just how well they control the ball inside to get it to the outside. It's a wet day. They're absolutely superb. It looks like Isaac Rankin, they've had enough of him getting rigor mortis in the forward line. He's gone into the centre, and probably Dawson. They've got to get some more out of Dawson.
So then Dunkley just switches over. So Dunkley's going to take whoever of those two is on ball at the time.
Second quarter underway. Fort winning the tap down. McCluggage works Berry under the ball and then gets a quick kick forward to Ashcroft. That's Will Ashcroft. Now to Neil. Up to full forward. Doesn't get to Raider because Butts came in and took a terrific mark going back with the flight.
That's when you need to go sideways. Like the normal trajectory is to go straight up the middle, but you need to be able to get an angle on that kick.
Butts out wide, wanting O'Brien, juggles and marks between 2 lines. That was a good grab.
Yeah, one of them was Orko, so Fort was just not in that contest, but you're right. Elite hands again from the Brisbane Lions out of the centre bounce, but ordinary kick inside forward 50, and Hipwood's got to be more competitive.
O'Brien up to Fogarty, who marks in front of Payne. That was a good grab. Centre wing.
Good hands there. New ball to start the quarter, you would think, and Thilthorpe marks it. One grab as well. So the rain's stopped. The deck is still slippery, but the ball hasn't hit the deck to start this second term. The Flyers go up full forward for the Crows, and the tackle laid.
I like that though, Dawson in the goal square. They've got plenty of options. Just make things a little bit more unpredictable.
So a ball up, 30 out from the Adelaide Crows goal. They're yet to score a goal. They got one now. Keys rolls it home. And that is a contender for goal of the night for Beaumont Tiles. Beaumont's massive range of tiles on sale now. Opening goal of the second term, brought to us by a second term Mate Internet and Mobile. Mate Internet and Mobile save $180 over 6 months with Mate Internet. Use promo code MATE30 at checkout.
It's one the Brisbane Lions co-captain Harris Andrews will not want to look back on this. So, I mean, at some stage, I know you're a key defender, but if you're at a stoppage and you're on a dangerous player, go and play on him. Just look at the room Harris Andrews gives Ben Keys here at this stoppage. It's comical. So he's got Andrews on no one. He goes across, notices Keys is free, but half goes and doesn't close down the space. And Keys kicks a walking goal from a defensive stoppage when you always have the extra number at those stoppages. So Riley O'Brien also with an excellent tap is monstering Fort. So clear advantage for Adelaide there.
Not sure where Zorko was, but you're right. Harris had to push up and nail him.
A 21st goal of the season for Keys from the restart. Dawson,
fumble.
Handball to Saligo, who did fumble. He was overwhelmed by the numbers. And it was Dunkley who got the handball to Rayner. Spirals the ball inside 50. Gallus a bit of a chance here, although he couldn't get the greasy ball. It slipped out of his hands over for a throw-in.
It was a classic contrast of how clean Brisbane are compared to how fumbly the opposition are inside the contest.
This is a great test for Adelaide. This is what you're going to get in finals. Can Saligo stand up to it? Can Peatling? Can Hinge? Because the evidence on this game was to say there's been a few iffy moments for them.
Deep left forward pocket for the Lions from the throw-in. It's an Adelaide ball with Michael Lanny clearing and Thilthorpe not taking the mark but getting a free kick against Payne. Chopping of the arms, maybe of holding, maybe of pushing the back, Gerard.
Could decide this contest, this matchup.
Thilthorpe, little short ball into Rochelle, who has it on the interchange gate wing. Gets onto his left foot. It's a flat ball towards half forward. Fogarty Rose with one arm, couldn't take the mark. Rankin gets tackled by Lester, holding the ball. Another free kick.
So they're using the width. Adelaide continually up against the boundary. Long loss toward half forward. And Worrell went the double-fisted spoil. He got away with it because Laird mopped up the mess. Heads back towards Fogarty. Thumped away from Fogarty by Andrews and will get a ball in early stages second term. And the clock for New Tech. Automation for manufacturing. Quick around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions and save more money at Chemist Warehouse. The Storms beaten North Queensland 38-14.
Ball gets thrown in. Centre wing. Ford in the front, wins it to the front. McCluggage has two Crows near him, and it comes off his heel and out of bounds on the full.
It's on the full from someone.
From Dawson, wasn't it?
We're not
from
sure.
Dawson?
We're going to have a conversation between a couple of umpires here. 3 umpires, in fact.
I think it came off McCluggage's heel into Dawson's leg.
Yeah.
I think it's a throw-in.
Well done, Kane. Maybe Kane could be the umpire's advice. That could be Greg Swan's first appointment.
After the week I've had, maybe not.
That's a good point.
I hadn't thought of that.
Clearances is well and truly in charge of in front of the Lions, and it's all because of the cleanliness.
Ford wins it to the front.
I just scrubbed that one off.
The ground. It ricocheted off a shin Brisbane's way. Keane tries to knock it further forward. Saligo close to the line. He gets tackled by Gallop.
Kane not
out
to
of
be
bounds.
umpire's advisor. It's down.
He's got a lot of spare time though, Kane. Let's face it. There's a couple of minutes spare when he's not on air.
I think I could do the job. I'm just not sure whether I'd be welcome.
Do the job as well, but you could you call it and do the umpiring at the same time, just so that's holding the ball. We might all be happy with it. Ball knocked down towards McCluggage, couldn't get it away. Neil had it, couldn't get it away. Saligo does flick it out in the Dawson direction, couldn't get there in time. Lays the tackle on Gallop. He's looked good early. Second term brought to us this second quarter by Mate Internet and Mobile, and we're 3 minutes into it on the New Tech Automation for Manufacturing clock.
Just outside the 50 for the Lions. Berry's handball goes straight out of bounds.
He's making life difficult for
Crouch,
the dual Brownlow medalist.
Oh, yep, Lockie Neal.
Yep.
Berry, I like Berry. He started 4 times in his first 4 games of the year.
I reckon if they didn't play him now, he was off somewhere.
Yeah, we spoke about that on Sports Day, Gerard. I think he's a prime target for a team looking to bolster their midfield.
Still at the 50 from the throw-in. Neil will get there first at ground level. Gets tackled by Berry again.
Still gets
Stay in the field of play. Got a handball, and then Will Ashcroft socket off the ground. Dunkley back to Will Ashcroft. Now to Raider. Raider's a chance here. Opens the angle. Put it down. That's a goal. Slick hands from the Lions inside 50. And they get their first goal of the second term to get that buffer back in tough conditions. Brisbane 3-3-21, Adelaide 1-6-12, and we've played 6 minutes in the second term on the Mate Internet and Mobile scoreboard.
Well, it started because of the Maestro. The Maestro kept that ball alive. Lockie Neal. He was on the deck, and here he is. Kane, he gets tackled. He still gets the handball away between legs, gets it going forward, and then the handball gang just executed magnificently.
We don't have a sponsor for the boundary update. Perhaps we should, but Jordan Dawson, the skipper for Adelaide, just off the ground, hobbling off the ground. So that could be a big story developing as well. But you're absolutely right. That ball needed to cross the boundary line if you're Adelaide. It was kept alive. Dunkley's hands, elite. Ashcroft's hands, elite. And this man, Cam Rayner, is feeling it tonight. He's got that look about him. Couple of goals, 9 touches, 5 score involvements already. Dawson must have got a knock on the knee. So doesn't look to be anything serious.
Rain running hot for Ream, Australia's favourite hot water Ream. Crows get the clearance to half forward. Little flick handball from Peatland didn't quite work. It might still work. Berry of the Crows kicks it wide and high in Keys' direction, and he gets there in front of Zorko. He's too far out to kick it from there. He's 80 from goal, so he's going to have to pass it off or hope someone marks it. Goes top of the square. O'Brien's down there. Walker's down there. Got a big palm. Knocked it to Rankin. Umpire was quick with the whistle. Ball up.
See how
switch directly out.
On they are here, Brisbane's defenders. So Berry's now in that dangerous space where Keys kicked the previous goal, but a lot of movement at this stoppage.
20 metres out from Adelaide's goal. Fort is the one that gouges a kick clear up towards defensive 50. Archie taps it on further. Michael Annie for the Crows falls on the football. He's got to be careful here. He did knock it out. Hipwood got a handball. Rayner knocked it on. It works. The two Ashcroft brothers working together in tandem. It's Levi that gets the clearing kick forward of the wing. Warrell will get there first though for Adelaide. Running the boundary. He kicks back towards half forward to a one-on-one. Wilmot spoils away from Rochelle. At ground level, Payne in support. He loses the footy. So does Curtin. Lester goes in. He's tackled by Neil Bullen over the line for a throw-in.
Hard, tough contest at the moment. The ball for Macca's. Macca's new McSmart meal is here. In slow motion, just rolling across the deck. Dawson has the knee rub. Looks like he'll be coming back on. He's our flexible player for Flexold, the only flexible oral lice treatment for sheep. The two rucks go at it. Fort and O'Brien knocked down in the Rankin direction. Good smother laid by Saligo. Ball still in the congestion. Peatling against the grain. Stripped. Answorth free kick for holding the ball. And he'll take it for the Lions and send them inside 50, maybe from the wing. Second term for Mate Internet and Mobile, and it's still 21 plays 12. The Lions lead.
Oh, that's the difference between the two. Peatling tried to walk his way out, got tackled, whereas the Brisbane Lions, they handballed their way out.
Ainsworth gives the handball to Lester running past. High kick into the 50. Rayner was up in the pack, couldn't mark. Will Ashcroft, another disposal. It's a handball out, and then he'll get it back from Bailey into the 50. Spoil came from Laird. Laird gets it again, then fumbles it. Has support from Berry. Handballs back to Laird. Rush kick back towards the wing. Walker marks it a one-on-one with Lester. He handballs it on to Keys. He has to wait for it to bounce. He collects and then kicks a long ball into the 50. Philthorpe caught out of position from behind, pushes his opponent in the back. Free kick against the Crows.
It's really good positioning from Payne, who won that free kick. A really aggressive ball side, took the front position, and in the end, Philthorpe had no option but to push him right in the back. Good decision for the umpire.
Brisbane by 9 points on the Mate Internet Mobile scoreboard. Just a quarter of the way through the second term. Kick back towards the wing. Over the top hinge, got the spoil. Straight down to Lohman, though. Lohman gets a handball to Bailey. He's tackled by Laird over the boundary. Another stoppage.
Yeah, Bailey.
Very deep in the left forward pocket, right next to the behind post. The umpire will throw.
And that's on the Mate Internet and Mobile scoreboard with 8 to go on the new tech clock in the second term.
Miller chips it into Neil Bullen, up to full forward. Walker over his head. Payne marks for the Lions' last line of defence.
Texas miscued on about 3 or 4 of those marks over his head. He just misjudged them.
Short into Wilmot, then short into Bailey. Now that's been called 15. The other kick wasn't called 15, but the first kick was longer than the second, if that makes sense.
Why does the Adelaide curator do the mowing strips on the diagonal one?
Bailey up towards Butts, who dropped the mark. He probably should have taken it, went out of play.
Something going on over there in the curator's shed.
So the mowing strips, can they be seen at ground level in these kind of conditions?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but they can be seen.
They can on a good day. On a good day, a good mower can do it. I can do it in the backyard. Ball back into play. Philthorpe, he was stripped of it by Gallup. No free kick. Ball comes to Dawson. Got it up to Cumming. He slams on the boot. It's long. Lions have enough behind the ball to maybe mark it. Harris Andrews content to take it to the line and have it out of bounds. It was called to play on because it wasn't out. Answorth gets it from Zorko. Got a handball away, but it was way too late. Free kick, Crows. Who's going to take it? That was hot as well.
That was so hot.
That was an accumulation free, I reckon.
I think you're right, Dwayne.
I thought he handballed it at the last moment, so I think that was hot. But in good hands, he loves it from this spot. He's kicked a lot of goals from this spot, Josh Rochelle. It's almost a spot where he showed the Port Adelaide fans his teeth last year, and paid the price for that. But
he needs a kick. He needs to kick one to have an influence.
I mean, there's a lot of Crows players that, Rochelle, Rankin, and you could say
Dawson.
Yep.
He's rearranged the plastic chairs. He's given that a beautiful run. That is a goal of the night contender from the boundary for Beaumont Tiles. Beaumont's massive range of tiles all on sale now. And Josh Rochelle has delivered just when they needed it most. 2-7-19, the Crows to the Lions 5-3-33. The Mate Internet and Mobile scoreboard.
We got a teeth sponsor because Rochelle just gave us a billboard full of the pearlies.
I thought he was about to point to his teeth. That it was exactly the same. I mean, that's an elite finish.
Yeah.
That's what he can do. So Brisbane kept it in. Like, the pressure from Adelaide was ordinary until they were almost out, and then Rochelle came across, and that's a tackle that stuck. I'm okay in the end. I think on replay, with that being paid, he had enough time probably to get rid of it, and I thought the tackle was strong. And then the finish was even better than that.
That snaps a run of 3 unanswered goals by Brisbane. On the Mate Internet Mobile scoreboard, it's 33-19 Brisbane's way. Umpire throws it up in the middle here at Adelaide Oval. O'Brien decisively winning the tap down. Cumming came off the square.
Dropped his head.
Berry, he wanted the free kick. He didn't get it for the Crows. Saligo gets it anyway. Kicks the ball to the top of the 50. Philthorpe, spoil came from Payne. Keys handles out to Fogarty. Gets tackled. Gets his arms free to get a handball out to Dawson. Gets knocked down by Answorth. Levi Ashcroft. Handballs to Dunkley under pressure. Kick under pressure there by Will Ashcroft. Ricochets back Adelaide's way. Andrews under pressure. Pedler dives in for the Crows. He's got to get rid of it here. Holding the ball.
That was brilliant stuff by Harris Andrews. He didn't go to ground. He kept his feet. Everybody else went to ground. That should have been a free kick to Harris Andrews. And I think it is it not?
Well, no, it wasn't for that one. It was for holding the ball in the end. Should have been for contact below the knees, because Pedler slid in and nearly took his knees out, which is dangerous. But in the end, then Pedler dragged the footy underneath, and that was the correct call, but they missed the first one.
So the Brisbane Lions chip it around and get it to midfield. So out on the interchange gate wing with Berry. 33-19, chipping ball inboard to Dunkley. It was no 15, so he absorbed the tackle and had ball back to Berry. Berry's kicking to the 50 for the Lions. Up was hinged, couldn't quite hold on.
Tex should have
buried
thrown
that
up
tackle inside
then.
50.
That's he's not having his best night, is Tex.
He's had an ordinary month.
I can feel this feud continuing on. The Kane-Tex feud. Is he going to get a contract for next year? Tex wants one. Some suggesting he will, some suggesting he might not. Mark Rashido was asked the question on Fox last week.
What did he say?
He didn't really want to give an answer.
Okay.
Which
he may not have one yet.
No, well, maybe not.
Yeah, that's probably the right answer. Is we'll assess it at the end of the year.
5:45 left in the second term on the new tech automation for manufacturing clock. Lohman kicks around the body. He got a fair bit on it. He got too much on it. It's just a behind post after a bounce. So ball in forward pocket for the Lions. AFL Nation for the 4-20 Traveller, and for Elders for Australian Agriculture. Quick around the grounds, as I mentioned earlier, for Chemist Warehouse. And Chemist Warehouse, get discounted prescriptions, save more money from Chemist Warehouse. The Melbourne Storm have beaten North Queensland 38-14.
Deep in the forward pocket, thrown in. Fort just drops it at his feet. Gallop onto the ball. He gets tackled, and it'll now be a throw up inside 50.
They've done well on Lockie Neal in this term. Looks like Saligo's gone to him at this stoppage at least. Only had 2.
Fort taps it down, but straight to Neil Bullen of the Crows. Handballs to Saligo. Handballs to Berry. Berry for the Crows. His kick goes over his intended target. Sliding in Walker. Couldn't mark low down. Rankin with a good tackle against Leicester. He's got to be careful here, Leicester. Or just came out just before the whistle blew. And then in the end, it was Saligo who got the handball to Neil Bullen. The kick comes up towards the wing. Philthorpe in front takes a good mark against Payne. He chips it inboard. That'll work okay. Back to Walker just inside the centre square. Spreads it to the open side. Kane will mark just outside 50. Will chip into the 50. It won't be 15. Foggy's now in trouble. Gets tackled. Somehow gets a kick away. Straight to Levi Ashcroft. Again, no 15. Handball to Berry. Berry's handball comes out to Zorko. Backpedaling. Now chipping back to Berry. He marks on the line.
And that's the problem with that previous free kick that was paid on the boundary line. That was at least as long as the one that we just saw the Crows do on the 360. And that's what's so confusing and so frustrating for punters in the grandstand.
Swanee.
Yes, everyone's version of what 15 metres is not the same length for distance as the Saligo tackle. Slipped a little high, didn't get a free, and now Cumming dragged down, and we'll get a ball up on the wing.
Jared Berry having a big quarter. Big quarter.
He's up to 18. Equal with Ashcroft, who's also on 18.
Jared Berry for the Lions, and out there as well, Sam Berry for the Crows. Ball hits Miller. Got a handball further forward. Keys has got it. Bangs it to a 2-on-2. 2 Crows, 2 Lions. And Dawson got a toe on it, but kicked it to Zorko. Gave it to Payne. Hands it to Fletcher. Chips it wide. Ainsworth will take the mark on the boundary.
Lean they are. They haven't got one good midfielder at the moment, the Crows. Keys is their best player by way of stats inside the forward 50.
Flat kick from Ainsworth. Not a great kick, really. Worrell taking the mark on his chest for the Crows. There's no real Brisbane player that was likely to even be involved in that marking contest. Worrell back towards half forward. Leicester in front, couldn't mark. Good tackle from Saligo, then wins the ball. Misses his kick as he tried to do that while he's lying on the turf. Ball just spits out Adelaide's way. Ranking quick handball to Peatling. Another high tackle, this time from Andrews.
He's the new Wizard Watson or Jack Ginnivan, Peatling.
Peatling from about 55 out when he takes the kick up towards Walker. He's got it.
Charlie got in everyone's way. What's he doing down there?
20 metres out from goal, in the corridor. It could be, it should be, 2 in a row to Adelaide.
Well, Charlie just showed how little time he's played in defence. He had to jump at that one.
Not sure why Walker was on Ashcroft and Cameron and where his actual direct opponent had disappeared to.
Taylor Walker to the Riverbank stand end of Adelaide Oval, on the approach, sweetly timed, straight through the middle. So Adelaide do get 2 in a row in the shadows of half-time. And the deficit now just 8 points. Brisbane 5-3-33, Adelaide 3-7-25, AFL Nation for 4-20, Traveller and Elders for Australian Agriculture.
Well, if I'm Matty Nix, Kane, I'm going in at half-time if the score's about this and say, listen, we can't play much worse. They are playing really good footy and we're 8 points down. So we've just got to tidy up, get a little bit more accurate. It's 10 scoring shots to 8. But Riley Thilthorpe's one of the cleanest ball handlers. Maybe he's got to play more in the ruck, I'm not sure. But some of their better players like Rankin and Dawson and a couple of others have got to lift. They're just not even in having any impact.
So the Crows now running hot for Ream, Australia's favourite hot water. Kicked the last couple. Replay for Makita XGT, more power, more efficiency, and more Makita. Ball up in the middle. 2:33 left on the new tech. Automation for manufacturing clock. Adelaide Crows get the clearance. Dawson gets it towards half forward. High ball, thumb clear. Archie's going to collect it or take it out. One of the two, he did neither. Didn't collect it and didn't take it out.
Throw.
Rochelle threw it inside to Saligo. Gave it back to Malera. He floats it wide. It looks out on the full from here. It's out on the full from there. Lions free kick with 2 left in the second term on the Mate Internet and Mobile scoreboard. It's 33-25. The Lions lead.
Harris Andrews with the free kick at left half back. He'll kick towards the interchange gate wing. Up high there was Morris. He couldn't take the mark, but he's able to get it at ground level. Handballs the ball to Bailey, to Neal. Back now to Morris. His handball straight to Peatling. Peatling kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Well, they were playing a little bit of fun and games there at the Lions. They nearly chopped it up. So, just a bit of overuse. They go back. He's got a spare behind him if he needs to chop the time clock out.
So what does Andrews do this time? He just goes with a little lateral ball. Not quite into the corridor to McCluggage. He will kick it into the corridor at centre half back with Jasper Fletcher.
And he launches long. He's got a minute and a half to play with Zorko and Keys. Zorko kind of sent forward. Keynes to the half back. Got it up to Michaelani. Got it wider. Cumming couldn't quite do something with it. Michaelani can't do something with it. Hassled out of it. Neal had it, lost it. Crunch. Tex laid a hard tackle. Zorko comes up with it.
Well, Lockie Neal, I think Lockie'd be disappointed with that. He was thinking, I've had a pretty ordinary game. I'm going to kick a goal.
Now Hinge up to Thilthorpe. Can't mark. Front and centre was Hipwood. Knocks it in the Ashcroft direction. That's Will. Now it's Jasper Fletcher. He'll go back inside 50 for the Lions. It's into the pocket. Hinge could have marked it. Instead, double fist spoil out of bounds into the crowd. 40 metres out from Brisbane's goal. Maybe one last chance for the Lions before half-time. Adelaide with the last 2 goals, with the Lions leading by 8 points.
It'll be a killer blow, this one, for the home team if the Lions should squeeze one.
In comes the ball. Fought down to McCluggage. Doesn't get his arms free. Holding the ball. Peatling, another free kick.
5 he's won. 5 free kicks for Peatling.
Oh, it's not a free kick. Everyone thought it was.
How was that? Did he not have pride because he was grabbed before he even took possession?
I'm not sure.
That's usually holding a man, but...
Neil handballs out to Will Ashcroft, gouges a kick forward, but straight to coming of the Crows, 30 metres out from Brisbane's goal.
Been some funny games at the moment. The umpire's running hot for Ream. Ball to the back. Harris Andrews goes all the way back from the wing to centre half back to Archie. He opens it up. They've got to roll of the dice here, the Lions, if they want to. Leicester's a centre half back. So the clock down to 20 seconds. He's a centre half back. He's on the back of the square. He goes wide. So they look like they just waste the remainder of time left. He goes with a short pass back to Harris Andrews. It's almost 50. Fogarty came from behind and just waltzed in front of him on the mark. He floats it wider. We're down to 7 seconds. So it'll be half time. Sign's about to sound. Half time for AFL Nation for 4 and 20 and the Traveller. And for Elders for Australian Agriculture. Whitey's got the goal. Kickers, I've got the score. 5-3-33 to 3-7-25. The Lions lead.
And Dwayne, the goal kickers for Brisbane. Rayner has 2 singles to Archie, McCluggage and Bailey. And for Crows fans, all singles. Keys, Rochelle and Walker, all in that term.
Halftime floor show coming your way very shortly. So stick around and we'll bring you the Maccas. I'm Loving It highlights out of the break. We'll have a chat about the players that have been running hot. Gerard Healy's going to compile all of that. A quick around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions and save more at Chemist Warehouse. If you didn't hear earlier, the Melbourne Storm had a win today against North Queensland. Halftime, Lions lead 33-25.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Mate Internet and Mobile. Save $180 over 6 months with Mate Internet. Use promo code MATE30 at checkout.
Make Crown your home ground for sport. Crown has the biggest screens and sound systems that put you right there at the stadium and in the thick of the action. With all your favourite drinks and pub food classics, you can meet up pre-game or catch every moment with your mates. Because the pub, the sports bar and the jackpot bar have you covered from, hey, it's kickoff, to, hey, let's kick on. Come find it at crownmelbourne.com.au to check out the live sports schedule. Crown practices the responsible service of alcohol. See Crown website for entry conditions.
Werribee Hyundai end of financial year sale. Werribee Hyundai end of financial year sale. Werribee Hyundai end of financial year sale. It's on now. With deals so good, even your accountant will buy too. Get down to the unstoppable team at Werribee Hyundai and find an amazing deal on a Hyundai today. Don't miss out on the Werribee Hyundai end of financial year sale. Find Werribee Hyundai on Old Geelong Road, Hoppers Crossing. T's and C's apply. LMCT 114.
G'day, it's Gary Lyon. I'm a Kubota man and I lean on Peninsula Kubota for advice. I need it. And you can be a Kubota man too with Peninsula Kubota's end of financial year deals. They're loaded with Kubota stock, including Kubota tractors, mowers, skid steers and utility vehicles, plus the right advice for anyone on the Peninsula with a farm or lifestyle property. There's never been a better time to become a Kubota man. Speak to Peninsula Kubota today or visit peninsulakubota.com.au. Kubota, shaping Victoria.
Does your business need a loan? With OnDeck, you can get funds from $10K to $250K approved in as fast as 2 hours. Lightning fast loans tailored to your small business needs.
OnDeck's lightning quick approval process saved my business when I needed it most.
Don't wait. Visit ondeck.com.au now and experience lightning fast funding for your business. OnDeck, your trusted small business loan specialists.
OnDeck.
T's and C's apply. All loans are subject to lender approval.
Claiming new camping gear as a remote work setup this end of financial year? Silly. But claiming a great end of financial year deal on a Kogan credit card? Sublime. Apply for a Kogan Money credit card with no annual fee and earn $400 in Kogan.com credit. Claim a great deal in Kogan.com's end of financial year sale. Search Kogan Money credit card and apply today. Kogan.com. Clickin' awesome. T's and C's and spend criteria applies. Offer ends June 30, 2025. Credit provider National Australia Bank Limited.
Hi, Francesco from Floridia Cheese. For over 4 generations, we've been proudly making the highest quality Italian-style cheese. With a passion for tradition, we're offering a little slice of Sicily to our customers, including ricotta, burrata, semi-matured and hard cheeses, and an extensive range of specialty cheeses that are considered the best artisan cheeses in Australia. Floridia Cheese, available at independent retailers. Visit floridiacheese.com.au and follow our socials. Floridia Cheese, traditionally Italian, proudly Australian.
Jono, did you get to Yarra Bend? Did I ever? That top tracer technology is amazing. I told you. Yep, now I know exactly how far I hit each club, the loft, the spin. Exactly. And like you said, it's not just hitting balls, it's improving my game faster. In fact, I think I'm ready to take you on. Now you're talking. Oh, look at that.
Top tracer at Melbourne's premier driving range, Yarra Bend, right on Melbourne's doorstep. yarrabendgolf.com.
Feeling stuck? Henry Bloom's Herbalax to the rescue. Trusted by Aussies since 1938, our herbal blend with 200 grams of dried herbs in every bottle gets things moving again. Used to relieve constipation and improve bowel regularity. Feel light, free and ready to go with Henry Bloom's Herbalax 200 grams dried herb or capsules. Just look for the purple lid at your local pharmacy. Your tummy will thank you. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
You're listening to the replay of AFL Nation's call of Friday night's match from the Adelaide Oval between the Crows and the Lions. You're listening to AFL Nation for Elders. Open an Elders Rural Products prepayment account to win. And 4 and 20 pies. You can't have footy without a 4 and 20
Always great to have your company on AFL Nation, wherever you might be listening around the planet. AFL Nation for Elders, for Australian Agriculture recruiting now, and for 4 and 20 pies. The third turn not far from getting underway. Adam White, Gerard, Healy and Kane Corns with us. It's an 8-point lead to the Brisbane Lions. What do you think might happen in the second half?
I think Will Ashcroft will probably get 40, and we'll all be wondering how this 21-year-old does it, and probably reflects on the hype around others that are nowhere near his level. Not even close, not even the same suburb, not even maybe in the same country.
It's not only 20 disposals, Gerard, it's 5 tackles as well, 9 contested possessions, a couple of inside 50s.
The thing, I think if you're going to really be picky about his game, I'd love to see him kick the ball more, and that will evolve. So once he gets outside the traffic, can he drive forward? Like Lachie Neale has definitely added that to his game. He's quite a penetrating kick, Lachie Neale, and has turned himself at times into a reasonably dangerous goal kicker at certain stages, but that will be the next evolution. So rather than first instinct, get it, give it, can I get out of the traffic and use my legs and actually carry the ball forward? And I think he's clearly capable of getting to that level as well.
So the question is, despite the fact that Ashcroft, Berry, Fletcher, McCluggage, Lachie Neale, Zach Bailey are all having good games, can the Crows fashion a victory here? Because they've got a lot of guys who aren't having good games, so there's some lift factor there.
Yeah, who do you like? Who do you think?
Keys has had a good game, but they need to get Isaac Rankin.
Yeah,
they need to
Dawson.
Get Dawson. He's had 10, but he really hasn't had much impact. He hasn't had one effective kick yet.
Yeah,
and he's had 120 metres going, so he's got a few up and unders going, but it's not a match-winning performance. Alex Neil-Bullen, I'd like to see him go into the middle a bit more. I think he used the ball better than most of them. Phil Thorpe, to me, is going to decide this game for the Crows. And I think he'll decide it as a ruckman, not so much as a forward. He may well do both, but he's the best ruckman they've got. And he's one of the best midfielders they've got. And he's clean with his skills. He's much cleaner than some of the mids, more skilled than some of the mids. But Rankin's the one. They're not going to win it unless Rankin has an impact on this game. He's had 6 going at 33. So Fogarty's had very little impact at all. So there's a lot of upside for this group. Texas, he's done okay, but he's about a 4 out of 10 at the present time, and he's got a lot of upside as well.
The other thing, Kane, just looking at the stats, one thing I didn't mention with Will Ashcroft, 5 clearances. So it's 10 between Neale and Will Ashcroft. 10.
I mean, these conditions suit them absolutely perfectly. They're so clean. And Adelaide have got a lift around those stoppages. They did even it up in the back half of the second term and got things more on their terms from a stoppage point of view. And the head-to-head battle with Keys and Zorko's interesting as well. Keys doing a pretty good job.
I'd say Keys well on top.
Yeah, well on top. He's had 14 and 5 score involvements, has kicked a goal and has kept Zorko to 9, and at least a couple of those have been from kick-outs. So he's doing a good job.
Dawson's disposal efficiency, Gerard?
Yeah, well, we mentioned that at 0%. He's I don't know. He's an interesting player, Dawson. I still think in some respects he's a better half-back flanker than he is a midfielder, but he's not penetrating. He's not kicking the ball with any authority at the moment. He's got Dunkley.
Starting midfield, yep.
All right, second half about to get underway here at Adelaide Oval. The Crows got the last 2 goals before half-time, but Brisbane by 8 points. With the bounce to start things off. O'Brien winning it down to Neil, handball to McCluggage. McCluggage kicks towards centre half forward. Laird dropped the mark, coming through. Rayner bounces off a tackle, goes towards goal. It would have been one of the goals of the year, but Butts was there to knock it through for a rush behind.
He's in a serious mood tonight. His ability to break a tackle. So it was the don't argue Dustin Martin style. And the ball was on track, but just didn't get enough air on it to go through.
Came from Lockie Neal's juniors.
Yeah, he was great.
Worrell meandered out of the goal square, kicks towards half-back. Laird on the bottom of the pack, tries to slap it out. Jared Berry for Brisbane there. Michael Annie, he loses control of the footy. Laird rushes a kick towards the wing. Hit the shin of Thilthorpe on the half volley. Now Saligo, that's a good kick. Keys takes the mark. Answorth knocked into him after he completed the mark.
He needs a new opponent, this bloke. He's going to win the game for the Crows.
Rain starting to fall here at Adelaide Oval. Keys into the 50. Backing back. Good spoil there from Hipwood. And he's knocked it out of play for a boundary throw-in.
Very hard to do what Eric Hipwood just did without giving away a free kick. So running back with the flight of the ball, if you make any contact with your opponent, that's a free kick. The rain is pelting down. Pelting down. The ponchos are out everywhere.
A little bit of red on the radar as well. Red's not good, is it?
No.
Yellow's bad enough, but red ain't good.
Ben Keys is ripping
Zorko.
So, little trickler in the Saligo direction. He gets it in the rain. He feeds it back. Riley Thilthorpe dance past one. Outside of the boot kick. It's wide and almost curtain. He nearly could have dived for that. He's taken over the deck. I thought he could have at least attempted to dive at it. Yeah.
Got to, yeah. He just sort of let it bounce half a metre in front of him. Just a couple of quick steps and then a dive forward with the chest mark. Would have been having a shot at goal.
Third turn brought to us by Deutz Far Tractors. Ball about to be flung back into play. Forward pocket for the Adelaide Crows. O'Brien takes it out of the ruck, gave it off, and around the body, Rochelle. That is an absolute ripper. He's kicked 2 huge goals for the Crows tonight. And they're a chance to steal this off the back of his brilliance in front of goal. 31 plays 34. They're 3 points away now, the Adelaide Crows, from taking the lead. Early stage third term. Here's Gerard Healy, our expert for MEGT, your apprenticeship experts.
Well, it was really just a domination in the ruck, and it got at Rochelle, but how he was able to grab it and handball without any pressure from Fort is something they're going to have a look at, Kane.
He gave up. Yeah, he gave it. So they've kicked 4 goals. 2 of them have come from forward 50 stoppages with little effort. One from Harris Andrews. That occasion, no pressure from Fort, who gave up in the ruck contest. And then Rochelle, just with a little hook around, got the better of Wilmot, who fell asleep as well. So 2 of their 4 goals have come directly from Brisbane falling asleep at defensive 50 stoppages.
3 in a row to the Crows. The Lions lead now just 3 points. Back in the middle, Dunkley for the Lions emerges with the ball. Swings the kick over his shoulder towards half forward. Bounces just outside the 50. Cameron knocks it inside 50 for the Lions. Worrell collects. Handballs to Laird. Laird under pressure. Handballs to Millerer. Now it comes to Michael Annie. Back to Laird, who spirals the ball back to halfway, but that's where it breaks down. And Payne marks for the Lions.
He's played a pretty good game, has Jack Payne, so far.
Interchange gate or members wing here at Adelaide Oval. He'll kick back towards the 50. O'Brien with the knockdown, but then on the secondary knock straight to Dunkley. Kick got smothered. It comes back to Dunkley. Wide handball to Payne. Payne's kick goes out of bounds on the full. Free kick going Adelaide's way between wing and half-back.
So Miller to take it. Good start to the third term for the Adelaide Crows. Running hot for Ream, Australia's favourite hot water. Ball back down the line. Wing. Thilthorpe got up there with those big mitts and couldn't quite pull it in. AFL Nation for the 4 and 20 sausage roll, and for Elders for Australian Agriculture. And Deutz-Far's Warrior range from 170 to 350 horsepower. It's Deutz-Far Evolved. Visit deutzfar.com.au. So the Lions by 3 points.
Early stages of the third term here as the rain just eases off a little bit. Fort winning the tap down. Dunkley soccers off the ground into the legs of Rayner. Bailey bounces off one tackle and then a second. Gave the handball to Berry on his left. Kicks towards the 50. Push. Should be a push. Free kick to Hipwood.
Dominating clearance right now. The Brisbane Lions have lost one clearance. It's given up a goal, but outside of that, they are smashing the Crows.
Can he make the distance from here, Kane?
Left foot, tough conditions, wheel around and have a crack, but they need something from Eric. He's had a couple of nice moments with a spoil and a one-on-one. That was the tunnelling sort of action from Jordan Bart's reasonably dangerous.
So the infringement right on the 50. So you'll have to kick it 52, 53 metres. Not even going to go for goal. Chips it. Rayner was caught behind. He was the only marking option, so he had to spoil it out of play for a throw-in.
He gets an applause from Dunkley as if that was a set play they talked about at half-time.
Yeah, set up for the stoppage maybe and see if you can get Charlie Cameron on the run here or see Zach Bailey can draw a high free kick from a defensive stoppage in Adelaide's 50.
Yeah, don't kick it long for the rush behind. That's the last thing they want to do. Rush behind, get the ball back. So Rayner caught, going nowhere. It'll be a ball up.
Kane, you've been involved on one side of the tag and I've been involved in the other. I reckon when there's a situation like this with Dawson, you put Dawson on the kneel and take control of the matchup.
You can definitely do that. They've tried him forward, it hasn't really worked, and you could also put him to half back as well. But
do something. You've lost control of the matchup. Yeah. They're in control of this scenario around the stoppage at the moment.
Another stoppage close to Brisbane's goal. Dunkley tries to get a handball clear. McMillan for the Crows clears up towards the wing position. Andrews edges his opponent out of the way, then lost it in the tackle. Berry for the Crows. Handballs over the top. This could work. Neil Bullen back to Berry. Berry skirting inboard, wanting to get onto his right foot, kicking a centering ball, backing back. Butts couldn't quite take the mark. Hipwood working in defence. Spoils away from Butts out towards the boundary. Will it stay in at will for Hipwood, but he's then tackled over the line for a throw-in.
That's the second effort inside defensive 50 for Hipwood. He's really working hard, liking his efforts.
Yeah, I am. I wonder if he could be a defender. I mean, they probably don't need him at the moment with Payne and Harris Andrews, Starcevich hopefully to come back as well, but I don't know, he looks reasonably comfortable back there.
They tried it early last year, didn't they?
Yep. Through necessity.
Yep. Fort winning it down from the throw-in, coming for Adelaide, kicked straight up in the air. As you can hear for the umpire, it's no 15. Jared Berry took the mark and then had to immediately play on. Rushes a kick forward of halfway, but only as far as Worrell. Cleaning up, giving the handball to Kane, and now the Crows can build again.
Little double-handed bounce by the Irishman. Sends it to a good spot inside 50 and getting back less than nearly took a one-hander. Zorko gathered the crumb. He bangs it back to where there's a numerical advantage for the Crows. Miller takes possession, gave it back to Worrell, and here we go again. Another big monster back to where there's a numerical advantage for the Lions. Berry for the Lions couldn't pick it up though. He knocked it out to Rankin. Now Rankin gets a moment. He's 80 from goal. Hits the pause button, goes back to Soligo. Back to Rankin. Missed him by hand. Rankin along the boundary line. Almost on the full. Off the back of Harris Andrews' boot. He's running away quickly so no one recognises.
Should have been out in the full.
Well, we've seen Hipwood up in the defensive 50.
Kicking forward the wing, clearing the initial contest, and then it couldn't quite get to Walker on the full, out of bounds for another throw-in.
Getting busier, Isaac Rankins, no doubt about that. So 5 in this term after only 6 at halftime. So more time around the footy. He hasn't done the damage yet, but he'd be feeling better about himself with his hands on the footy.
Ball gets thrown in, gets to the back of the ruckman. Rochelle inside the centre square on his left, kicks the ball across the square. Pedler marks. He's on his trusty left. He kicks into the 50. Oh, Dawson and Fogarty probably spoiled each other, really, going for the same ball, and it's gone out of bounds for a throw-in.
The big Brisbane ruckman's got a problem. He doesn't spread at all. Once he does the ruck, he puts the cue in the rack. And he is so exploitable. I've seen him actually give away at least one goal because he hasn't done it.
Fort taps this one down to Levi Ashcroft. Quickly gets boots a ball, and then Lohman knocks it out and will be thrown in. It's quite similar to last night, the way this game's being played. Lots of boundary throw-ins going wide.
Yeah. Who said 9 goals is going to win it? Was that you,
9-16, yeah.
I think that might be the number.
So Adelaide's 4-8 at the moment.
I think 9. I think you got to kick 9 to win it. Whoever gets there first.
Philthorpe onto the ground and plays a rucker over on the Brisbane Lions, man.
Or sloped down towards Bailey. He's got it at half back. He flicks it off to Will Ashcroft, got it to Fletcher, rolls it along the boundary, bouncing ball. It should be the Adelaide Crows who collect it, although Hinge can't take possession, knocks it out.
2 subs. Brodie Smith's a good sub to have, can penetrate across half back, and Robertson is not bad in these conditions as well, so more of your bigger body midfielder, so we'll wait and see. Wouldn't be far away, I wouldn't have thought, from either coach sort of pulling the trigger on the sub.
Who are you thinking, Kane? Yeah. I've got Kai Lohman for Brisbane.
Might be the youngster in the first game, I reckon, Gallup.
Yep. Fletcher gets the clearance for the lines, 2-on-2 on the wing, and great mark to Kane. Half-back flank for the Crows.
That might have stamped his papers.
Yeah, it might have. And for Adelaide, I'm not sure. Maybe Pedler.
Kane back towards the wing. Members side of the ground. Fort went out with one hand. At the back, it's Fletcher who slides out of play with the ball in his hand.
Fletcher being put on a keys. They needed to. Looks like he is.
Yeah, he just running power was too much for the Zorko. Yeah, couldn't go with him.
Real stalemate here. 1 goal apiece in this third term. 7 to play before three-quarter time. Brisbane by 9 points. Fort tapping it down. Bailey in close quarters. Handball to Will Ashcroft, to Neil, to Fletcher. All handballs. Now the run of Wilmot. Just runs away from the Crows here. Taking a bounce. Handballing out to Dunkley in some space. Nearly at half forward. There is the long kick. Rayner's down there, but Kane again saves the day for the Crows. Double-fisted spoil over for a rush behind. Brisbane by 10.
Great from Wilmot. I mean, the hands inside once again. Ashcroft and Neil involved, but then Wilmot broke open. We haven't seen any of that run and carry from either team.
Good transition here from the Crows. So Hinge to Curtin, along the boundary wide to Rankin. He's up against the boundary on the wing.
They've played so safe. Everything's been this side of the ground now. Maybe the wind is a factor of that, but they've really taken the ball through the middle of the ground.
Yeah, so Rankin goes wide as well. Thilthorpe flies, can't mark. Rochelle, good turn. Got the kick inside 50. Pedler's lurking. He might not get there. Zorko did brilliantly. Didn't just knock it away from Pedler. He knocked it to the boundary. Ball in. 6.5 minutes left on the new tech clock. Optimise your business with automation in this third term, brought to us by Deutz Far Tractors, and it's a 10-point lead of the Lions, 6-6-42 to Adelaide 4-8-32.
Adelaide deep in attack. Thrown in. Thilthorpe at the front, winning it. Key's got a bad bounce. Rochelle crashed through, lost the footy. Now it's time for Berry, who gets tackled. Handball somehow to Fogarty. He's kicked, smothered by Levi Ashcroft. Cameron for the Lions. Onto the loose ball. Spreads it wide and spreads it well. And Bailey marks. Nearly at defensive 50 for the Lions. Kicks it on. It's okay. Low down. A good mark taken by Gallup.
Stay on the ground, mate. Starting to lift.
Too close to the interchange, isn't he?
Short kick into Neil, not 15. Lockie Neil from the logo. Nearly kicking to half forward. Morris, good mark. It's a very open forward line. Morris senses that. He's going to squeeze the kick, wanting Cameron. Oh, it bounced off his chest. Berry with the crumbs for the Crows. Handballs to Worrell. Now it comes out to Dawson, and Dawson's kicked it straight to Hipwood like he was wearing an Adelaide jumper.
You heard the oohs and ahs. Hipwood goes wide. He gets it into the hands of Morris. Good grab.
He's got some talent, this bloke. That kick to Charlie Cameron, I thought it was going to be a blooper, but Charlie Cameron was the one who actually didn't
drop the chest mark.
He actually nailed it.
He drops the chest mark. He's got to mark that.
Yeah. So Logan Morris now with a chance to extend this margin to 16. It's a tough kick, but it's the pocket where Rochelle kicked one about an hour ago.
Next goal's big. You know, if it's a big margin in a low-scoring game if Brisbane go up 16.
Could be for New Farm. Australian through and through a crucial moment. It is a crucial moment. It's out on the full. Crucial for Adelaide that he missed it. And it's still a 10-point margin with 4:41 left in the third.
Yeah, he was thinking about a lot of things and it never really settled to kick the goal.
Led out towards half-back. Curtin couldn't mark. Peatling again got taken high. No free kick.
He played for that.
He just played for it.
He took it and
he's waiting for the tackle.
Almost as if someone chopped his legs off.
Yep.
Everybody's coaching. Take the tackle. Take the tackle.
Right half forward for the Lions. Neil handballs to Bailey. Gets tackled by Curtin. Gets under the tackle. Got a handball that gets knocked down by Hinge. Peatling again. Kick smothered by Dunkley. Ball ricochets to Berry for the Crows. He knocks it outside 50. Gallup crashes in. Rankin with the loose ball. Tumbles a kick back towards the wing position. Thilthorpe caught behind. Good hip and shoulder from Fogarty. Cleared the space. Got the handball to Curtin. Rushes a kick. This is coming towards 50. Rankin there with Fletcher. Rankin spoils it to Pedler. Pedler off to the races, taking a bounce into the square, running it home. The Crows get within a kick. It was a huge moment at the 50.
Rankin against Fletcher. Rankin got the spoil in there, knocking into the path of Pedler, who did the rest. And it's the Crows within 4 points. Brisbane 6-6-42. Adelaide 5-8-38. 4 to play in the third term on the Deutsche Spa Tractors scoreboard.
I'd like to see this replay because I would have backed Fletcher in every day.
So would I. I don't know how he missed this. He's in a perfect position. He just has to tap it forward to Leicester. Punch it somehow. And maybe it was Rankin's brilliance and we're not giving him the credit. This angle might give us a better look at it. It was Rankin.
I think Rankin's just got the higher vertical lead.
I think just a race of athleticism and judged it better in the air. But yeah, pretty good. It just goes to show that an ugly entry is a good entry. If you can get it on the ground in these conditions, let your small forwards get to work and make something of it. That's a big goal against the run of play.
From Bednick's breaks, put your foot down with confidence with Bednick's breaks. So the Lions get the clearance straight out of the middle. 3.5 minutes left. Picked up by Archie. Gave it off to Rayner. Open goal. Danced past a couple. Gave it to Charlie. Bang. Instant reply. Took him 8 seconds.
At the front of the stoppage, Lockie Neal goes long. Ground ball. Unselfish. Brilliant handball to the end.
Great answer.
That's the way you get a goal. You give it until you don't have to worry about it. They're starting to think about a change here, interchange.
You might have picked it. Gallup might be the man.
I think that's the one. He's clearly got something physically wrong with him, so I think that just gives you the excuse to sub him off. But just a shocking setup from Adelaide at the centre bounce. The last thing you can do is let Lockie Neal exit through the front of the stoppage. Just getting a look. It's a head knock for Gallup, so that would spell the end for his night, I would have thought. But Archie was good.
Yeah, really
Rayner
good.
was really good. Just summed it up nicely. Composure in the end. Walk-in goal for Charlie Cameron, his second.
See how Rayner keeps his feet? Blokes go to ground when they do U's like that.
O'Brien for the Lions, for the Crows, gets a quick kick, but it's a Brisbane footy. And it's Zorko who spreads it out to the outer side of Adelaide Oval to Levi Ashcroft.
So Gallup's gone for the concussion test. Why wouldn't they just sub him out? Like, you've got a quarter. Clearly hasn't had a big night. Get the fresh legs on.
Ashcroft wide, wanting McCluggage, but Berry for the Crows takes the mark. Is it right half back? Chipping ball up to Saligo.
Might be just the fact there's 3 minutes of play remaining.
Do it at 3/4 time.
Yeah, go and get maybe just keep him available just in case.
Saligo hugs the boundary with the kick, wanting Fogarty. Good spoil from Andrews, gets it over the line for a throw-in.
How's the fog going?
Quiet. I think he's had a pretty ordinary month.
Yep.
And the filth seeker hasn't done a lot tonight either. Like he
hasn't
taken 3 or 4 contested marks, but just 8 touches, hasn't kicked a goal. So just the 2 goals between the 3 tall forwards.
O'Brien knocks it down. Keys nearly had it. Neil went and got it. Went through a couple of them. He got it up just in time to Will Ashcroft. Gave it off to Fletcher from half back. He spears one towards half forward. Good attack from Miller. I left it behind though. Charlie Cameron got it from Hipwood. Little 1-2 with Will Ashcroft. He gets away, arcs the back. He gets a third handball inside towards Hugh McCluggage. Nudged in the back as he kicked it. Back to Will Ashcroft. 4th possession in the string of play. He pops it. Hot spot. No one can mark it. Charlie knocks it down to Eric. He's 50 from goal. Gives it to Archie. Hands it all the way back to Fletcher. 70 from goal. Sits it up for the Leapers. Little nudge. Big nudge. Hinge no free. Yes, Hinge free. A delayed whistle to Hinge. 2 minutes left. Third term on the new tech clock. Automation for manufacturing.
Clear free kick. I think the umpire called him Max Hinge and then corrected himself. It's Mitch.
Good umpiring, Dwayne. You picked it before the umpires did. Ball goes up to half back. Through hands now to Thilthorpe. Kicking into the middle. Another big contest here. Busy intersection. Ainsworth did well for the Lions. Won the hard ball. Kicks to centre half forward and McCluggage marks. Well done, Noah Ainsworth.
Terrific. Came off his man in a 2-on-1. Won a genuine contest. And then I don't think there was any science into his re-entry, but somehow, because Adelaide thought they'd won it, they switched off behind the ball. And McCluggage just found himself in all sorts of space. I thought he'd made a good decision just to settle it down as well.
It's a great kick.
Hugh McCluggage directly in front from the 50. The kick is a little left and it's getting further away and it's just scraping through for a behind.
It happens all the time. People overcorrect when they go out to the right. Thilthorpe is the only way they're going to win this game. He's got to go into the ruck, would be my suggestion to the coach.
Hinge pops it wide. Nice kick. Miller So they've got a minute left to play with Adelaide. They're on a half-back flank and they trail by 11.
More run around the ball. Smaller forward half.
Again, they stick to the width, and Harris Andrews knew exactly what he was doing because they've been doing it all night. Gave to Zorko. He spears it to half forward.
That's 50.
That had to be 50. Wow, Logan Morris didn't get 50. He gets Lohman anyway, and Lohman marks 20 out. So
put it on the book. Put it on the book.
Look, I know he's running past his man,
but he was too far off his man.
Behind him.
Yeah, that's okay if you're right with your man.
Is the rule 5 or 3?
Yeah, you've got to be right
8.
with them, and he's too far off. So he had to get out of the protected area, which he did do. Now, Loban's got 20 seconds here. He doesn't want to play on, and then the siren goes. So hopefully someone's told him just direct line with the drop punt.
Big challenge. This his confidence, I reckon, is average.
It's a big kick.
So he's going to go drop punt. He's got 8 seconds left. He could open up the angle. He doesn't. He drop punts it and he slots it.
Yep.
Got it in there by a coat of paint as the siren's about to sound. And that is a huge moment. Maybe it's not. It's a big moment for Bendix Brakes. Put your foot down with confidence, Bendix Brakes. It is a big moment. It may be a crucial moment for New Farm, Australian through and through. 3/4 time. And on AFL Nation for the 4:20 sausage roll and for Elders for Australian Agriculture. The score at 3/4 time. The Brisbane Lions 8-7-55. Adelaide Crows 5-8-38. And that's the Deutz Fahr Tractors score. The reason we're not going to a break on AFL Nation is because there's about 0.3 of a second left today, which there was for OKC to play with, and they couldn't do much with it in that thriller by Indiana. So we'll see what they can do with 0.3 of a second here for the ball up in the middle. Whitey, the next 0.3 is yours.
Thanks, Dwayne. It is officially 3/4 time, and Lachie Neal was going to get that clearance as well, should there have been a little bit more time. So as Dwayne said, it's 55-38. Brisbane with 2 red time goals just before 3/4 time, giving themselves a 17-point lead at the final change. We'll be back with more on AFL Nation for the 4:20 sausage roll and Elders for Australian Agriculture.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for the Deutz Fahr Warrior range. From 170 to 350 horsepower, it's Deutz Fahr Evolve. Visit deutzfahr.com.au.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. For professional tilers, the all-new Tileworks by National Tiles is a game changer. Yes, National Tiles Tileworks members can make up to $50,000 per year more than non-members. It's a game changer. National Tiles Tileworks tilers get free premium adhesives and grouts delivered free, plus monthly cash rebates. So professional tilers rush to join Tileworks online at National Tiles now. Tileworks, it's a game changer. Conditions apply.
Trade in your chance to win a Kluger at Chadstone Toyota when you purchase a new or Toyota certified pre-owned vehicle.
Plus, you could score one of 10 $1,000 Toyota gift cards.
Nice. Offer ends June 30. Visit the website for T's and C's. LMCT 8169.
Oh, what a feeling.
Toyota.
Mate, if I say the word laser, what do you think of?
Laser tag? Pew, pew.
No, you clown. Laser cutting. Close.
Laser welding? Correct.
Roofing and Sheet Metal Centre can laser weld stainless steel in gauges down to 1.2 mil. Stainless steel roofing and rainwater products have a longer lifespan, are more resistant to corrosion, plus they look great. And with a lighter gauge stainless steel, you can get these benefits for less. Visit rscentre.com.au/stainless steel.
With over 350 locations Australia-wide, Metro Petroleum is the perfect place to take a break and enjoy a Mr. Whippy ice cream cup. Mr. Whippy's ice cream cup range includes chocolate, strawberry, vanilla and limited edition bubblegum flavours. Need a protein fix? Grab an Oak Plus protein flavoured milk for just $3.95. Chocolate, vanilla or new salted caramel, specially formulated to taste great, no added sugar, low fat with 30 grams of dairy protein in every bottle. Offers available until June 30 at all participating Metro Petroleum locations.
You can't see me because this is a radio ad, but I'm completely naked. Why? Well, at Tango Energy, we've stripped things right back. No gimmicks, just simple plans and easy sign up. Refreshing, right? Although a little chilly without pants. Don't pay for extras. Get energy stripped back at tangoenergy.com.
Tango Energy.
So, did you do the dishes?
Yes.
Did you walk the dog?
Yes.
And you took the bins out?
Yes.
What?
I just won a TV on Grays.
Did you listen to anything I just said?
What?
Experience the thrill of an online auction on Grays.com. Find great deals on everything from wine, electronics and cars to machinery and transport equipment and everything in between. Get it on Grays. Start bidding today on Grays.com.
If I asked you to go outside now, grab a shovel and hack through your internet or water connection, would you do it? Of course not. It'd cost you a fortune to fix, plus being without internet or water for hours or days would drive you mad. Yet digging without searching before you dig online first is a gamble. Or worse, if you strike a gas or electricity main. Before every job, search before you dig online every time. And never dig blind.
Real people, real products, real fun. No matter who you are, Sexyland has something real sexy for everyone. With Australia's biggest range of sexy costumes, lingerie, couples toys and fun gifts and games for adults. Sexyland. 11 stores in Melbourne and Geelong, open till midnight 7 days a week. Or shop online for 2-hour delivery. Sexyland.com.au.
The end of financial year is always the start of something special at Kilmore Toyota. And this year it's no different, with the Land Cruiser 300 series and a large range of Hilux in stock. Kilmore Toyota. LMCT 808. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
You're listening to the replay of AFL Nation's call of Friday night's match from the Adelaide Oval between the Crows and the Lions. And 4 and 20 pies. You can't have footy without a 4 and 20 pie. Macca's, I'm loving it moments. Macca's new McSmart meal is here.
O'Brien takes it out of the ruck, gave it off, and around the body, Rochelle. That is an absolute ripper. He's kicked 2 huge goals for the Crows tonight.
Oh, Charlie Cameron from the stoppage, on the fly, on the left, goal! Got the handball to Curtin, rushes a kick. This is coming towards 50. Rankin there with Fletcher. Rankin spoils it to Pedler. Pedler off to the races, taking a bounce into the square, running it home.
So the Lions get the clear left, picked up by Archie, gave it off to Rayner, open goal, danced past a couple, gave it to Charlie, bang.
Some of the action from the third quarter here. AFL Nation for 4 and 20 pies and Elders for Australian Agriculture at 3-quarter time. Brisbane 8-7-55 to Adelaide 5-8-38. The Lions with 2 goals just before 3-quarter time to just break this game open a fraction, Kane Gaunds and Gerard Healy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small margin in normal conditions, but when you've only kicked 5 and you've got to kick 3 to get even, and then probably kick another 2 to win it. It's a 5-goal last term that Adelaide need, I think, to win this game of footy, and they've only kicked 5 3/4. So, I mean, a lot's going to have to go right for them.
Lockie now just 19, but he's been effective. He's had 11 contested.
9
he's
clearances.
had 8 ground balls and 9 clearances. Now, Saligo, he's kept his numbers down, but I don't think he's impacted his impact as much.
You can hear from the music right here, right now. What have you got, the Crows? At home against the Premiers as we start the last quarter with Brisbane 17 points up, and from the initial tap down, it's another stoppage.
I'd love to see the beard inside the goals, inside the centre square.
O'Brien winning it down. Neil tried to barge through, couldn't do so successfully. Ball spits out off the ground for the Crows by Laird. Back into congestion. Levi Ashcroft somehow gets a kick away as he was tackled, and diving back with the flight, Laird marks. So the Crows to go forward. Laird with a handball to Dawson. On his trusty left foot towards half forward. Clears Fogarty. Here's Thilthorpe. He's on the boundary. It's a vacant square. Keeps it low. Keeps it straight. Oh, that's brilliant from Thilthorpe. It gives the Crows some hope. After just 36 seconds on the clock, Adelaide get within 11. Brisbane 8-7-55. Adelaide 6-8-44.
Well, they would counter by saying that's why we keep him forward, because he has got this magical capacity to kick goals. He's got high-level skills. But we haven't seen it until this point in time. And it was just a really good body position by him. Poor defence by Jack Payne. Hasn't done too much wrong, but that was wrongly positioned.
Elite finish. Terrific. Adelaide have made their sub, so Butts is the one that's been subbed out. Brodie Smith onto the ground. Gallup passed his HIA, and they are still yet to pull the trigger on their sub.
So back in the middle, big clearance here. They become more and more important the more the seconds tick down. 19 minutes left in the last quarter. 55-44. Final term on AFL Nation. Miller goes down low. They come at him. Ball spills. Came out towards Will Ashcroft. Got it off to Dunkley somehow. He squeezed the kick to half forward. Bouncing ball. Logan Morris caught, crunched, dispossessed. Ball hits the carpet. Curtin went down and got it. Gave it to Worrell. Wobbles it back towards the wing. Big Mark Dawson. Huge grab. Plays on quickly, floats it over the top. He's got Healy, 70 from goal, turns, goes, hits Keys, lace out with a bullet. And Keys can line up from 40 directly out.
Yeah, good turnaround this time by the Crows. Big push out wasn't paid, but they got away with Harris Andrews, just got shoved out of the contest. But Dawson makes a good grab, and they just got forward and set up a pretty good shot at goal.
Keys wipes the ball, takes some time, gets his heart rate down from directly out to make it a one-kick game. Couple of skip steps, heads toward goal. It looks pretty good. It is perfect. Scoreboard for Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts in this final term. Tyre Power, Australia's biggest independent tyre retailer, keeping you safe on the roads. tyrepower.com.au. 50 plays 55. Lions by 5. Our experts for MEGT, your apprenticeship experts, Kane Corns and Gerard Healy.
Well, I think Jordan Dawson's been important to start this term. He's had 2 touches, one contested mark, and 2 of those touches, the only 2 have led to goals. So just look at the ability of Keys to get forward and then the stop tick lead at the right time. Just that's experience on Fletcher. I mean, hard to stop that when it's an unpressured kick going inside forward 50, but that is elite forward craft. See him at the bottom there, and the tick lead with the point. Great delivery from Michelle, and an even better finish from Keys, who's not usually an accurate set shot for goal.
They got back within 4 points in the latter stages of the third quarter. It's now 5 points from the restart. Dunkley on the bottom of the pack. Dawson with the tackle. Spits out Brisbane's way to Jared Berry. Knocked off the ball. Sam Berry. Handballs to Cummings. Cummings' handball was a bit too hot there for Laird, who was forced to tackle Archie. He gets a stoppage front part of the square for the Crows.
And all of a sudden, just a little hint of a little fumble or two here from the Brisbane players in the stoppage.
Ball thrown up. O'Brien bashes it straight to Levi Ashcroft. Handball to Jared Berry. Swings the kick wide towards the outer wing. Worrell got there first on the bounce. Will Ashcroft with the tackle. Ball will be thrown up.
They played draw last time these two teams met here.
Last year at Adelaide Oval.
So could well have another one, which is ridiculous. So ball knocked down to Levi Ashcroft. Kick smothered. Hits the deck. McCluggins tries to kick it off the deck. He kicked it straight towards Will Ashcroft again. That was high on Miller.
He just pushed his head into his body.
He did. Archie pleads his case.
Umpire, but that's what happened.
Archie's saying exactly what Gerard's saying.
Oh.
Yeah, he drove his... Yeah, Archie was stationary.
Yep.
And he drove his head into him. O'Brien gave it up. Neil Bullen floats it. Phil Thorpe, can he get there? Can't. Hits the deck. Payne wrapped up by Cumming. Got a handball away just in time to Lester. To Berry of the Lions. He floats it wide towards the wing. Bouncing ball. Ugly bounce. Smith's now on the sub for Adelaide. He can't beat Rayner. He can beat Rayner. He got him locked up in a tackle. Got it to Rankin. Got it to Michael Annie. Crows to go forward.
Michael Annie running the boundary. Then kicking into the 50. Oh, up goes Dawson. And takes a spectacular mark.
That is a brilliant mark. That's why you can stick him forward. That's why he's got all enormous match-winning capacity, because you can take your tag forward. And that is going to be probably the mark of the round.
Climbing into the back of Phil Thorpe, propelling into the air and coming down with a Sheridan.
Phil Thorpe extracted the knee from his back. He looked around and said, I hope it's one of my blokes, and it was.
The captain could give Adelaide the lead from half forward, 45 out. Of course he does it. That's why he's the captain. The captain leading from the front. and the Crows lead by a point. 5 minutes into the final term here at Adelaide Oval.
Well, it's just elite from a captain who's had 3 touches that have led to goals in the first 4 minutes of this final term, and that's as good as you're going to see. Now, I don't want to get on my hobby horse, but all this has happened with Taylor Walker on the bench. They just look a better forward line when they're not as tall. So he spent the first 4 minutes of this quarter on the bench. They've kicked 3 goals when they'd previously had 5 for the match, and it is a forward line that is functioning when it is smaller and it is dynamic.
Saw the Birdman in the crowd as well. Camera flashed to him. That wasn't quite Birdman-esque, but it was close enough.
It's also going in there. They've gone in 4 times.
But it's going in there to one-on-ones. Yeah, well, you're going to get the one-on-one with Keys, the one-on-one with Phil Thorpe.
So Crows in front from, this is the first time tonight the Crows lead by a point early.
So you're just feeling the pressure. Jared Berry slammed it on his boot a couple of times when normally he would have handled it.
Ball knocked on by McCluggage, got it to half forward. A little tumbler. Logan Morris kept his feet, not to do his advantage. He's 80 from goal. He chips it to the leading player. Eric got one too high. Hipwood free.
It's a good decision, but Logan Morris is a super smart player.
Not sure he's got the touch that Jordan Dawson has from this position. Tough spot to kick it from if you're a left footer here for Eric Hipwood. It's going to take his absolute best.
It would be a Bendix Breaks big moment. Put your foot down with confidence, Bendix Breaks, if they get the lead back within 2 minutes of the Crows taking it with a Jordan Dawson screamer and follow-up goal. So can he match what the Crows captain did at the other end? Tough kick, worse than 45 degrees, and from 48 metres out, in he struts. It opens up, it's markable, it's on the goal line, they float in, and Kane takes a good, solid grab. Did he get the first purchase on it? Umpire almost caught him to play on, and he's turned it over. Maybe he goes wide, and a good grab to Fletcher. 80 from goal.
So the Lions can go forward again. Adelaide by a point. Early stages of the last term. We're at the 8-minute mark. Inside 50 they go. Kane with the spoil. Bailey with the crumbs. Knocked off the ball. Curtin there. Quick handball to Dawson. Quick to Michaelani. Got tackled. Lost it. Rayner through the traffic. Handballs to Archie. Out of the pack. He's missed.
Brilliant handball.
Flying shot.
Brilliant handball.
It's brilliant.
It's a behind. It's locked up the scores at 56 apiece on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard.
Yeah, that was just magic from Rayner.
We heard a story in local footy in Victoria where a local team has drawn the last 3 times they've played each other, which is crazy stuff. This could be a draw again. This one, O'Brien can't get there to mark it. Neil crumbs it, go to McCluggage. They could take the lead here, the Lions. Kick inside 50, knocked away by Smith. Back into the centre corridor. Pete Ling got there. Neil got there. McCluggage got there. And the umpire says, give it to me when I get here. 56 apiece, 14 minutes left on the New Tech clock, final turn, New Tech automation for manufacturing.
Fort winning it down, but straight to Saligo. Standing start kick on his left, back towards the wing. Up goes Walker. Can't hold on. Wilmot under it. He's not knocking it out. Pedler with the tackle. No free kick. Throw up.
Thank you. Must clear a path.
56 apiece. Adelaide Oval. O'Brien winning it down. McCluggage had a fumble. Came back to Fort. Rushes a kick on his left inside 50. Bounces over Hipwood's head. Worrell in trouble. Bailey knocks it away from him. Morris deep in the pocket for the Lions. Centering ball. He's excellent. Although Rayner dropped it. Should have marked it. In the end, Hipwood forcing a tackle on Keys. It's a stoppage in the corridor. 30 out from goal.
Again, just brilliance for this young kid. He's a ripper.
First mistake Rayner's made all night, really.
So ball up. 30 out from the Lions goal. Any score and they lead. Bailey driven, but not driven to the point that he gets a free. Any score in the Lions lead. They're 20 from goal. Another ball up. A central ball up.
And the Lions have had someone charged through this stoppage almost every time. Let's see the releases now.
Ball palm down into the congestion. McCluggage got the handball away. Almost taken a behind I am right now. Berry hammers it. You don't get it all the way there. And Worrell takes the mark. I would have loved it behind if I'm a Lion. But the Adelaide Crows get a chance to take the lead now.
Worrell like taking a fair catch in the NFL. Then he clears it out wide towards Michaelani, kicking to congestion. Off the pack, Rankin. Handballs to Walker. Walker tackled by Wilmot. Gone.
That's the worst, don't argue, he's done in his career.
Wilmot with the footy on the AFL logo members side of Adelaide Oval. Score still level. Wilmot swings a high kick. into the 50. Hipwood is there. Morris is there. Rayner with the crumb. Open goal. This will be special. It's not. It misses to the left. It gives Brisbane the lead. That would have been good, Gerard.
Could be a handy point.
It could be a handy point.
I'm always taking the point there. I'm happy with the point.
Oh, it's still 13 minutes to play.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Aggressive kicking.
So down the spine. First time they've used the corridor all night. Adelaide, and it might work. Thilthorpe came up with it. Floats it high. Getting back is Fletcher. He won't mess this up, or he might mess this up. He goes in low. Keys hands it up. Rochelle, a goal and they lead. A goal and they lead. And it's Rochelle again. 57 plays 62. Adelaide Crows 9-8 to 8-9. Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts, Tyre Power. And the clock, more importantly, for new tech automation for manufacturing. Still got 12 minutes left.
Sometimes little things can win you big games. And a little knock on here by Riley Thilthorpe, I think it was.
Tex.
It just put it into their space. A little fumble. But why don't we see this more often? Just opening up space and taking a lot of ground down the middle. Well, this is the most aggressive kick in for the night.
It is. It's amazing when you need to go and win the game. Like how conservative Adelaide have played with their ball movement for three quarters. You go, we're down by 3 goals at three-quarter time. We've got to go and win it. And the whole of the attitude changes.
Yeah. Well, as Tex, as you said, he knocked it down. Thilthorpe took the mark.
Yeah, he was excellent in the middle.
You can't play in front of Thilthorpe. You've got to play behind.
Ford winning it down from the restart. Will Ashcroft's tackled by Thilthorpe, but he thrown up. So Adelaide kicked 5 goals to three-quarter time. They've kicked a further 4 in 12 minutes.
And Dwayne said 9 would win it. They're on 9.
Thilthorpe winning it down. Will Ashcroft, handballs to Levi Ashcroft. To Bailey threading through traffic. Handballs to Answorth. High kick almost to half forward. Dawson couldn't quite hold on. Someone's lost a boot. It's Hinge now with a footy for the Crows. He's kicked it out on the full,
so they made their sub. Gallup has been subbed out. Probably 10 minutes too late for me. Robertson is onto the ground.
So another midfielder for a forward. Levi Ashcroft.
Not paid.
The boot remains at half forward, whoever's it is. Ashcroft up towards Gloman. He couldn't mark it, but it's been paid to Dunkley. I'm not sure how that works. Dunkley to full forward. Cameron in front of Michael-Annie. Michael-Annie spells it over the line for a throw-in.
Really good battle.
Yeah, really good battle.
Was that a mark to Dunkley or?
I think Gloman took his hands off the ball strategically late.
The coach said, listen, if you got 2 blokes in the same team marking it, make sure one gives it up.
Would have been another ball up. They need a goal to take the lead here, the Lions. Forward pocket for the Lions. Kicked off the deck. It's dangerous. Fletcher got a scramble kick back towards the forward pocket. And Michael-Annie content to take it out. So another ball in with 11:34 left on the clock. Rayner's crumb from the last stoppage, or a few stoppages ago, was exceptional. He's being watched this time. Smith watching him. Ball in. Fort. Thilthorpe. Cameron tried to kick it off the deck. Curtin got it. Hammers it back out, and Payne took a good low-down mark on Tex.
Those are 1 Payne.
80 from goal.
Sliding in, just marking it above the turf. Nearly at right half forward. The kick to the hot spot. Rayner flies in. Can't mark at ground level. Neil just gouges out a handball. Levi Ashcroft slapping it back towards the score line. Laird, he's kicked it out on the full from the goal square. It was a check side.
Well, it just had to go over the points. They just had to rush that. There was 3 of them. And
they lead by 5. So what's the difference between leading by 5 or leading by 4?
Nothing. And Rory Laird looked like he did that deliberately. He looked like he check-sided it deliberately out on the full. Just, lost his composure. Big kick for the sub.
Yeah, Devon Robertson, he's been on the field literally moments. Opens the angle with the snap, kicks it straight into the man on the mark. Ricochets into a dangerous spot in the corridor. Will Ashcroft absorbs the tackle, then can't get a handball away effectively, holding the ball. Rory Laird makes up for his mess.
That's a great smother. Neil Bullen. He did not give up on that. Laird to make amends. Sends it out wide. Fogarty comes hard. Lester comes hard with him. Neil Bullen kicked it out of hands almost and got it towards Dawson. Playing some sort of game. The captain now turns and goes. Heads to half forward. Will Rochelle get there? No. Payne got there well ahead of time, and Rochelle allows him to mark it and holds his spot on the mark.
Left half back. He goes back inside defensive 50 with the kick and makes it a problem for Andrews. He might go back to Payne here. No, he won't.
He's going to go back to the defensive. Goal square had to be good. Answorth makes it good, takes the mark, then chips it on. So they've transferred play now to the outer side. Away go the Lions through Leicester at defensive 50. Kicking towards the wing, backing back. Worrell marks for Adelaide.
No need for Lohman to look back. It was a bad kick, we know. Because you don't have to put it on your mate.
So Berry for the Crows, plays on, opens up the angle, kicks toward goal, and he missed everything.
Why did he bounce that? Put himself under all sorts of pressure by taking an unnecessary bounce.
And there's another point that would have been handy. It's a 5-point margin, could have been an even goal, but it's now a free kick. Lions back pocket, 9:39 left.
Neil having his last break on the bench. Answorth for the Lions, out towards half-back. Thilthorpe up there, couldn't hold on. Fort somehow gets a handball away to McCluggage. Swings it over his shoulder straight to Hinge at halfway for the Crows.
That kicks aren't working for them at the moment. The pressure from the Crows, much better.
Hinge's kick is precise to Curtin. Left half forward, about 80 metres from home. Just chips it up. Oh, a chance for Fogarty here. Late spoil came from Dunkley. Levi Ashcroft gets under a tackle. Handballs to Rankin. Standing start. Back to the goal square. Fought against Thilthorpe. Ball hits the deck. Oh, great pick up there from Andrews.
Is that LeBron James?
Like he was picking up a loaf of bread just off the ground. It was amazing.
He liked Cooter. That's who it was.
Yep, it's going to be a throw-up inside 50 for the Crows at the Riverbank stand end.
You'll see that replay 30 times over the next 3 days.
Watch Rankin here.
So, ball knocked down through his legs. Keys has kicked an amazing goal. The tunnel ball between the legs was just as good. Fogarty knew he had a player behind him. He rolled it through his own legs to Keys to goal, and a 10th goal might be enough for Adelaide. 10-8-68 to 8-9-57. Tell us more about it. Kane Corns, our expert for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship expert.
Just from a defensive 50 stoppage point of view, the Lions have been deplorable tonight. So that's another goal that they've conceded from that area. That's 3 for the game. And in a low-scoring affair, you shouldn't be giving away more than 1 per game. They've given away 3 out of Adelaide's 10 goals. Yeah, brilliance from Fogarty, but how Keys once again found that much space inside forward 50 with no one in the goal square is a mystery.
3 for the night for Keys, 23 for the season. Talk about a big moment for Bendix Brakes. Put your foot down with confidence, Bendix Brakes. It's 5 in a row for Adelaide, and we've still got half the quarter to go.
Wow.
And they're 11 points in front. Back in the middle, O'Brien winning the tap down. Fought with the crumbs. Although he slapped it was a little bit risky, but it works. Zorko flicks out a handball to Fletcher. Fletcher took it on the second bounce. Kicking towards half forward. It goes over Cameron and Miller. There mopping up there was Laird. Handballs to Smith and back to Laird. The veterans linking up. Now O'Brien with a quick handball. Neil Bullen confronted by Fletcher. Out of play for a throw-in.
Geez, they're really breaking down going inside forward 50. They just can't find an easy target.
68 to 57, Adelaide in front. It was the Lions by 17 points at the start of the last quarter. Ball thrown in. O'Brien down to Neil Bullen, tackled by 2 Lions. Now it's Levi Ashcroft flicking out a handball towards Zorko. Broke a tackle. Handballs to Dunkley from a standing start. It's a long kick to the 50. Hinge spoils the contest. Morris front and centre for the Lions. Gets away from Worrell. Runs to the 50. Centering ball. Not quite working. Oh, might. Robertson got a good bounce. Snaps towards goal. Is it far enough? No, it's not. On the line. Tap through for a rush behind.
Sadly, that's the thing that's held him back his whole career. He's just not a great kick. He's an okay kick, but had to be a goal. It was a brilliant move.
Kane saves the day again for Adelaide, like he's done so many times in the last 6 weeks. It's the Crows by 10 points, 8 to play.
So the Crows bring on a sub who's played, 260-something games, and is a metres gain gun, Smith, and again he launches metres gained. Robertson's had 2 moments he'd love back. O'Brien should have marked it, should have been paid it. Dawson crumbs it, runs into a gang tackle. He got a high free, Dawson. High free number
That's 9 for the game for Adelaide.
So Dawson backpedals. Rayner's caught on the bench, by the way. He's the only guy who might be able to steal this back for the Lions. Long kick. Richelli couldn't get there, and good mark taken by Fletcher in defence. But they're running out of time now. They need 2 goals, and they've got 7.5 minutes left. The Lions. That's on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard.
Chipping ball into Andrews, who plays on. And he kicks to the wing. It's not a great kick. Low down hinge couldn't mark. So Rayner just coming from the bench. Handballs to Bailey. Darts away. Handballs to Fort. Long sweeping ball by hand towards Lohman. Takes it on the bounce. Lohman from 45. Kicks to a vacant square. They come back late. And it's Laird saving the day, slapping it into the goalpost. Another behind.
Yeah, they had their chances. Rayner, Robertson a couple of times, and Lohman. I mean, you don't get many better chances than that. And it was an issue for Brisbane early last year, their inability to finish with the options that they had and opportunities. So once again tonight, 8 goals, 11, it's a difference.
So Miller entrusted with the kick in this time, goes to the congested side, and Harris Andrews outmarks Tex. Oh, Tex almost gave away 50 there.
Moved.
He jumped there, Tex, and the umpire.
Frightening.
So Zorko plays on quickly, a spear. Lohman can't mark it. It caught fingertips on the way through. Turned his body into the traffic. It's dragged under him, and the umpire says, I'll have it. 51 metres from the Lions goal, and they trail by 11.
Bounced off the chest or even the face of Lohman as it went inside 50. O'Brien tapping it down. Neil Bullen gouges it clear with a quick kick into the centre square. Wilmot for the Lions. Wide handball to Fletcher. Had a bit of a fumble with the pressure. Then got a handball out to Levi Ashcroft. Handballs it on. Zorko at the 50s. Kicking straight to Worrell. Another wasted opportunity for the Lions.
Isn't that his best night?
No, it's
the magician.
Yeah, he shouldn't have talked to us pre-game.
Yeah, he's made himself disappear.
So wide ball, high ball, and great mark to Fletcher.
Gee, this guy's been good again. This last quarter's been huge for him.
So Fletcher about to send it back inside 50. No, he doesn't. He goes for the central ball.
Taken 3 intercept marks in the third term for Fletcher.
Harris Andrews is on the wing. He took the mark. 6 minutes to play with the Lions. They need 2 goals in 6 minutes. They trail by 11 points on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard. Answorth sits it up for the Leapers. Who goes up? Miller it did. Lohman stayed down, and he almost knocked that out himself, Lohman. Insufficient intent. Free kick Adelaide. Don't get that paid very often, but it was there in the Lions forward line.
So the kick into the 50, into the goal square. They've spiked it through again. The Crows coming, doing the job this time. It's 8 points the Adelaide Crows lead with 5.5 to play in the final term on the Tyre Power scoreboard.
Oh, yeah, well, Smith that knocked it out, not Lohman, so that's why the free kick was the Lions.
See where this kick goes.
Brody Smith.
Going up the middle again.
Scoreboard end.
The end of financial year is around the corner.
Welcome to the day's play on AFL Nation, and we've had an absolute thriller at the Adelaide Oval where the Crows have knocked off the Premiers. The Adelaide Crows 10-8-68, defeating Brisbane 8-15-63 by 5 points. The goal kickers for Adelaide, 3 each to Keys and Rochelle, and then singles to Thilthorpe, Pedler, Dawson and Walker. And for the Brisbane Lions, 2 each to Rayner and Cameron, and singles to Lohman, Archie, McCluggage and Bailey. It was a tight contest for most of the night, although Brisbane, they had the advantage at all the breaks. 9 points at quarter time, 8 points at half time, 17 points at three-quarter time. But in the final quarter, Adelaide kicked 5 goals straight. Brisbane kicked 8 behinds. No goals. And despite all the peppering at the goals in the last quarter, they had 20 inside 50s, Brisbane. They just couldn't find the goals, and the Crows knocked off the Premiers. This is how AFL Nation described the evening.
Charlie Cameron's got it. This should be the opening goal. He zigs, he zags, he ran into trouble. He got it to Rayner, who's on his left, should kick the goal, and it does.
Will Ashcroft, now Archie, 40 out, low zooming, ball is home. 2 to the Lions. Throw in, Neil will get there first at ground level, gets tackled by Berry again. Stayed in the field of play, got a handball, and then Will Ashcroft sock it off the ground. Dunkley, back to Will Ashcroft, now to Raider. Raider's a chance here, opens the angle, put it down. That's a goal. Slick hands from the Lions inside 50.
Answorth gets it from Zorko. Got a handball away, but it was way too late. Free kick Crows. Who's going to take it? That was hot as well. Shelley. He's rearranged the plastic chairs. He's given that a beautiful run. That is a goal of the night contender.
Takes the kick up towards Walker. He's got it. Stand end of Adelaide Oval on the approach. Sweetly timed, straight through the middle.
O'Brien takes out of the ruck, gave it off
and around the body, Rochelle. That is an absolute ripper. He's kicked 2 huge goals for the Crows tonight.
Oh, Charlie Cameron from the stoppage, on the fly, on the left, goal! Got the handball to Curtin, rushes a kick. This is coming towards 50. Rankin there with Fletcher. Rankin spoils it to Pedler. Pedler off to the races, taking a bounce into the square, running it home.
So the Lions get the clearance straight out of the middle. 3.5 minutes left. Picked up by Archie. Gave it off to Rayner. Open goal. Danced past a couple. Gave it to Charlie. Bang.
So the Crows to go forward, led with a handball to Dawson. On his trusty left foot towards half forward, clears Fogarty. Here's Thilthorpe. He's on the boundary. It's a vacant square. Keeps it low. Keeps it straight. Oh, that's brilliant from Thilthorpe. Michael Annie running the boundary, then kicking into the 50. Oh, up goes Dawson and takes a spectacular mark. From half forward, 45 out. Of course he does it. 5 points. Adelaide's lead, 9 seconds on the clock.
20 inside 50s to 8 in the last term.
Yeah, well, Adelaide have won it as much as the Crows have.
Ball thrown in. It comes out to Roberts. It goes through his legs. They get a stoppage. They get the siren. Have we got a challenger? Have we got a contender? The Adelaide Crows come from 17 points down at three-quarter time to knock off the Premiers. That final score again, Adelaide 10-8-68, defeating Brisbane 8-15-63. Gerard, Healy and Kane Corns described all the action. They were the experts for AFL Nation tonight, and this is what they thought of the match.
Well, I mean, well done to Adelaide. It's a big scalp. They needed a big scalp. And they got a big scalp. So if you're glass half full, that's what you're going with. Their last quarter, particularly the first 10 minutes of that last quarter, was as good as any side's played this year, led by Jordan Dawson, who just put this team on his back, was involved in the first 3 goals, kicked one himself, big hanger, inside forward 50. Ben Keys was Adelaide's best player in the end, had a huge influence, negated Zorko, and also offensively 20 and 3 goals, 8 score involvements. But the story's probably going to be Brisbane. I mean, you can't...
I'm not sure what the story is, though.
Well,
I mean, they've had about 12 shots in the last 15 minutes, and they've butchered all of them. So they've lost it as much as Adelaide have won it, but I guess we just live the dream with Adelaide because that's the good story.
Probably, yeah, probably. I think so. And then no one's going to be panicking about the Lions. I don't think they'd play that game 10 times over with those numbers, and they don't lose that. So the inside 50s in the end for the match were just very lopsided. So plus 13 in entries, plus 20 in clearance. Smacked them up from contested possessions, ground ball gets. Just didn't kick accurately.
No, they actually panicked a bit, I think, in that last quarter. That last shot from, who was it? Bailey. I mean, he knows he's not going to kick that. Not with that heavy ball and late in the game. Had to look for something, but he went for the miracle kick. It dropped short as it was always going to do, and they basically gave away the last chance that they had. But they had so many opportunities, Kane. It was actually almost comical in the finish. It just goes to show if you hang in there in a low-scoring game, it only has to swing for you 10 minutes. You kicked, 5 goals in the last quarter, but they kicked 5 in a row.
5 straight from 8 entries.
Yeah.
But what they did also is they got them quickly.
Yeah.
So they got goals at the 1 minute mark, the 3 minute mark, the 6 minute mark, the 12 minute mark, and then the 18 minute mark.
Yeah.
And then held on.
I've seen this happen so often at Football Park for a long time, and now Adelaide Oval. You just got to let the crowd get involved, and it's worth a few goals. And they took a while to get going, and then they just couldn't kick one. So I enjoyed the game. It was a ripper game. Laird continued to rack him up. He had some good moments in the last quarter. I thought Ben Keys was almost their best player. He just runs and runs and runs and creates and kicked an amazing couple of goals. Dawson was poor early, but really good late.
So I've got a question for you, Kane. For Adelaide to do what they did in the last quarter, what changed? Was it as simple as them going through the corridor and taking risk and opening the game up, or did Brisbane not do something they were doing for 3 quarters to allow that to happen?
Definitely changed their style of play. I mean, they were way too conservative in the first 3 quarters. We spoke about that. They played so wide for the whole game.
Yeah.
They played so wide, and there was a real reluctance to take the ball through the middle. And then they went smaller in their forward line, so they started Walker on the bench in that last term. I still think that's a big decision for them ongoing, because don't think we're seeing the best of either Fogarty or Walker, so the flow-on effect of both is an issue, and they're probably going to have to choose between one of the two. That's the way I see it anyway, but we'll see if Matthew Nicks sees it that way as well. So smaller, and then clearly played more aggressive. We saw that from the kicking goal from Brodie Smith, who just went straight up the middle of the ground. And you rely on your star players. You rely on Thilthorpe to win a big contest in the middle of the ground. You rely on Dawson to do what he did, and Rochelle's individual brilliance, and a bit of Ben Keys.
Final score, if you're just jumping in the car, having gone out for dinner. Adelaide 10-8-68 defeating Brisbane 8-15-63. So as a result of that, Adelaide to third on the AFL ladder with 36 premiership points and a percentage of 137.2. Brisbane staying second, 38 premiership points and a percentage which is kind of irrelevant with that draw against North Melbourne of 112.6.
A percentage is pretty impressive. They lost that game to the the Suns by only a couple of points up there in a controversial circumstance. So a couple of their losses haven't been anything other than a kick, but they're on the way. I still think they're down a polished mid, nowhere near as deep in through that midfield as Brisbane Lions, but they got strengths in other areas as we saw tonight.
So as the celebrations continue out on the ground for the Adelaide Crows, Tobin Brothers Funerals celebrating lives every day of the year. We'll be in the Adelaide rooms after the game, and we'll go through all the categories as we wrap things up here on AFL Nation, with the Crows winning a thriller on a Friday night. And the Lions, we're seeing pictures, Kane, of them in the rooms, and I'm not sure they can quite believe what's happened for a game that they controlled for such a long period of it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of the story of their season, really.
Yeah, that's right.
So another big game for Adelaide next week. They've got Hawthorn in Tassie, then the bye. Gets a bit easier after that with Richmond and Melbourne at Adelaide Oval. They'll start favourites for those two games. So great opportunity to finish inside the top four, get yourself 2 home finals, and see you on grand final day. A lot of work to be done, but with that percentage and with that record so far through halfway this season, they're in a great spot.
And just in the last month, the Lions have given up the lead against Melbourne. They gave up the lead against Essendon and won it back late, but they were 6 goals in front and nearly lost that one. They're just having these games at the moment.
And then there's just butchering a lead.
Yeah, well, that's right. It was almost like you couldn't call it a choke because they're the premiers, but it almost was a choke.
Yeah, they just weren't thinking strongly enough in that last quarter. But Crows defended really well as well, so a lot of the kicks were under pressure. But there were a couple of set shots Bailey's set shot should have gone around the corner. He didn't. And they're enjoying the celebrations, and they're on the way up.
They are indeed. They're up and about in the city of churches, the Adelaide Crows, Kane.
Yeah, they'll be happy. They'll be everywhere. Don't you worry. They will come from... They'll be crawling out of the gutters in Adelaide. They'll be everywhere.
I wish you all the best over the next little while.
I'm staying in Melbourne for the next little bit.
Bunker down.
It's good. I think it's a good exercise in how to build a list patiently, and they're in a good spot.
No question about that. They've got to get one more mid or even a half-back flanker to add to the mix.
Wonder where they might get one of those from, Gerard.
They might get one from the Saints, maybe.
That's right.
Because he could probably play in the middle of the ground, but they're going to be very happy, going to sing the song. Just going past the Fox Footy commentators there, bypass Channel 7, Change Mob.
They're starting to ring up now to sing the song. The Adelaide Crows defeating the Premiers on a Friday night at Adelaide Oval. 10-8-68 to 8-15-63. So there you go. Kane and Gerard's thoughts on Adelaide's 5-point victory over the Brisbane Lions. So as a result of that, we've got the Crows going to 9-4 and are third on the ladder as it stands at the moment late on a Friday night. Brisbane to 9-3-1. So it's still Brisbane in second, Adelaide in third, but still plenty of matches to come throughout the course of a long weekend here for AFL round number 13.